Hello, my Teaserking family. I passed the test, the voice test. How is everybody today? You're well? I had to get my, I went to the Toyota dealership to get my oil changed. I trade them oil. I get an oil change for free, and I give them economic lessons in football picks. So it's a fair trade in my mind. Just a second. All went well at the car dealership. I do need brakes. They're like they're like $600 for front brakes at the Toyota dealership. I'm saying I don't think so. So I have a mechanic. If I can get a hold of, I can get he'll do the brakes much cheaper. Anyway, so let's go through the line. So tonight we got a ball game. And let's go through it. Really quickly, gold was up $50 yesterday. It's now back to 2035 in the bullshit paper, and silver up. So the Fed tried to lower it, and then it got bought back up, which shows you what's going to happen. Let's see. So we got our game tonight. We have let's go through the NFL line, and then we'll go through the college balls. And the same site I use for the pros to get the starting lineups, and I can see I got for college. So this is very helpful because we can see if the quarterback's sitting out for the draft, for the transfer portal, or he's just injured, we see it. So it's perfect. This is a perfect site. So now we won't be surprised, although I am questioning some of their lines. All right. Oakland 34.5. Again, both under teams stick against O'Connell. Josh Jacobs is questionable for Oakland, and I think Keenan Allen, let's see if he's still questionable. Keenan Allen is out. Oof. Joey Bosa is out. Mike Williams is out. Justin Herbert is out. All that talent, and they won 4 games. Oakland, Devontae Adams questionable with an illness. Josh Jacobs questionable with the quad. Max Crosby questionable with the knee, but I'm sure he'll play. So we have stick against O'Connell, no Keenan Allen, no Joey Bosa, and a couple of questionables, Devontae Adams and Jacobs on Oakland. My score is going to be 17-13. They're both under teams, but you got to take a lot of points away from – they're under teams with the starting quarterbacks. Right? With Herbert, they're an under team. Without Herbert, they're really nothing. And if Keenan Allen's out, there's not going to be points. There's your score 17-13. I got San Diego winning. Who knows? Should be a nothing game. There won't be any scoring in this game. So let's go. Cincinnati 2.5, 40.5. Yeah. 2.5, 40.5. Mullen will be the quarterback, not Dobbs, against Browning. I don't think Browning's all that good. He played one game, and against Indy, a weak defense. Minnesota's playing really strong defense. 2 under teams also, even less under without Cousins and Joe Burrow, which would have been a really good game. Both unders, an 18 under for Minnie, a 22 for Cincy. You could take Minnie. You could take the under. Is Browning? He can't be for real. We'll see. I was listening to the radio about DeVito, and the guy goes, "Is he real or not?" And they go, "Oh no, he's not." And I actually think he's more real than a lot of these other ones. He's 8-3, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks. That's pretty real to me. So I don't see any problem with him. I'd bet on him. He beat Green Bay, for Christ's sake. Indy 1.5, 42.5, down from 3 against Pittsburgh. Trubisky against Minshew. Indy's defense is really weak. Pitt's an under team, even less with Trubisky. Indy's an over team. Again, they don't have Taylor. And they don't have a defense, so hard to say. I mean, I think this is probably a higher scoring game, over 36. Trubisky showed a little bit last week. I don't know. Detroit 4.5, 47.5. That's our free one. Take Denver plus the 10.5. They're the better team with the better defense and the better quarterback and the better coach. There we go. Detroit's an over team with a weak defense. I got them with the 24 defense, but that's if you include Carolina, Atlanta, and that. If you take the real teams, your Baltimores, your San Diegos, your Seattles, they're like a 35 defense. And Denver's just as effective as all those teams. Basically, Detroit has no defense. They can't cover. They have their secondary is terrible. Look for Russell Wilson. They have a huge game here. I got Denver winning 34-24. They're going to struggle against this Denver defense, and Denver's going to light it up. Beautiful matchup here. So, go Denver, beat Navy. Atlanta 3-34 against Carolina. Carolina sucks. They're the worst team in the league. Under team of Atlanta. You got the Riddler against Steve Young. And Carolina's 26 defense. Atlanta's pretty strong defense. I just don't see Carolina doing all that much. Atlanta's laying 3. Let's go Atlanta 24-7, something like that. It's a low total, but Carolina is not going to score. Really, Youngstone for like 134 yards. Like, seriously? Yeah, and the thing is, they got rid of DJ Moore to Chicago. So they got the first round pick, and they took Steve Young with it. What was that about? Now you need a receiver. You had the receiver. You didn't need this quarterback. He sucks. All right. The Bears and the Bengals, or the Browns. The Bears, Cleveland -3 and 38.5. Both are E teams. Bears with the 24 defense. I have an 18 defense the last 5 weeks. They played the Minnesota game great. Detroit only got 13 on them. Fields against Flacco. I think the Bears are a very strong dog here. Hey, Alex, how are you? I think the Bears are a very strong dog here. They've been playing well. Fields is hitting DJ Moore, so at least they're getting points. Cleveland with Flacco, and the Bears. I'm looking at the Bears game against the Lions, 28-13. All the Lions got was 13. The Minnesota game, they got 10. And if you notice, Dobbs, again, is benched. He gets best at Arizona. What the fuck's Minnesota doing? They play him. He actually wins a few games. Then he throws 4 interceptions and a bunch more. And now they're like, well, yeah, I guess he's no good. Well, why don't they just trade for Trask at Tampa and then you'd have a good quarterback? I don't understand. I think Will Greer's at New England now as a third stringer or whatever. I don't get what the problem is. And then I heard today that if you're a top 5 pick, you got guaranteed money. Well, no wonder I wouldn't draft the top 5 then. I would draft where I don't have guaranteed money because they're wrong so many times. But I don't. Is it a 4-year guaranteed $35 million contract to draft the 5th player? Then I draft 6. I wouldn't draft because you don't. Okay, maybe Penix and Bo Nix, Caleb. Okay, they'll probably be good. As a first pick, I'd be surprised if they didn't pan out. But I'm not drafting. I'm not going to do that where I have to do a guaranteed contract. That's what kind of league is this? So I don't know, but I think this would be a good game. The Bears are mathematically still in it. As far as when you got 7-win teams and they got 5 wins, they could easily get a playoff. You can beat the Lions and you beat Kansas City, or no, Green Bay beat KC. Beat the Lions, you beat the Vikings. I don't know why they can't beat Cleveland. Speaking of the Packers, 3.5, 41.5 to Tampa Bay. I like Tampa as the dog here. Mayfield against Love, 200 teams, over under 42. My only concern is Tampa Bay going up to it's cold here, to the cold Green Bay. Can Tampa handle that? I don't know. I think now they can, but there was a time these Southern teams couldn't. Gearing up for a hunting trip, leaving tomorrow back on Monday, West Central Texas, deer and hogs. We will be literally in the middle of nowhere. That might be good. You won't have to pay taxes and no internet problems. We'll have a nice time, Alex. Enjoy. Get a deer, get a hog, maybe get a beer and a gator or something too. Luckily, they put a cell tower at the ranch we're at, so we have strong Wi-Fi. Oh, there. Now it all makes sense. If you can't go to Vegas, go deer hunting. That'll be good. Well, I mean, the big play is Detroit, Denver, take Denver, and then Alabama's the free pick. And I've already bet Detroit. I already bet Denver and Alabama as dogs. I can't believe Alabama's the dog in that game. And I'm betting it now because I don't think by the time the game's January 1st, I'm not sure Alabama won't be 3-point favorites. So I'm salivating getting Alabama as a dog. Now, maybe they won't. I'm still shocked. Detroit was favored over San Diego and is favored against Denver. I don't know why Detroit's favored, but I'm betting against them. And the same thing here. I don't know why Detroit's favored over Denver, but I'll take it. And why Michigan's favored over Alabama. Oh my God, that's the worst spread I've ever seen. I think Alabama should be like a 4-point favorite in the game. Would be my point. But okay. Well, enjoy your trip, Alex. Have a nice time. Relax. I just got back from Germany, and I don't know. I didn't get it. I would never go back. It's too many bad memories for me. Didn't they have Hitler and all the wars and World War I and World War II? And I'm like, when I go to Spain or I go to Switzerland or Austria, I don't really feel that. When you go to Germany, I'm scared when I land in Frankfurt to go to Barcelona. I'm like, I'm going to get the hell out of there. So, not my cup of tea, Germany. I didn't see any swastikas, fortunately, but it gives me the shakes. All right. Tennessee 337.5 to Houston. Half of Houston's out. Stroud's hurt. Running backs hurt. Receivers hurt. Don't know. Let me add. I found the college version of that, so let me add that to it. Right now it's on college, so I'm going to bring the pro one in. All right, now let's go through it. Sorry. So tonight, Stick is in and the rest, everybody's okay. And Keenan Allen's out. See, it doesn't tell you Keenan Allen's out. It tells you that Palmer, Johnson, and Erickson are the receivers, but it doesn't say Keenan Allen's out. He's out. For Oakland, Jacobs and Adams are both questionable. And today's Thursday. All right, Minnesota, Cincinnati, we got Jefferson questionable. Chase was questionable, but he's out. Now they're starting Chandler at running back. They don't tell you. And Nick Mullins is in ahead of Dobbs, where it's Browning for Cincinnati. Pitt, Trubisky, Harris, Johnson, Pickens, Robinson. And for Indy, it's Minshew, Moss is starting, Pittman, Downs, and Pierce. So Downs, I don't think is the regular, but they're not telling you that. Denver's healthy. Everybody's good. Detroit, Josh Reynolds is questionable. Who cares? Wilson against Goff. Huge advantage, Wilson. Atlanta, Carolina, Riddler and everybody else, and Young. Everybody's there for Carolina. The Bears. DJ Moore is questionable, and St. Brown's questionable. Ford, the running back, is questionable. And again, it's Flacco and Fields. So if we like the Bears, we got to wait to see DJ Moore, basically. More. St. Brown didn't play last week. So as long as DJ Moore plays, I like Cleveland, but that's the beauty of this. It's kind of telling you. We're at Tampa, Green Bay, Mayfield. Reggie White's going to be the running back instead of – oh, no, he's on Tampa. Mayfield, Godwin's questionable. Evans will play. Love. Aaron Jones, I don't think will play, but Watson and Reed are questionable. So there's some injuries to Green Bay's wide receivers. I'm sure they'll play. It's a playoff game, but we'll just keep an eye open for it. The Jets, Breece Hall is questionable. Zach Wilson against Tagliavua, Mostert and Hill again are questionable. This over-under is ridiculous. Where are we? Miami, 8.5, 37.5. Let's go back and let's finish the line. All right, so Houston is Tennessee 337.5. Up from 2. So CJ Stroud. So they're going to have to go with Davis Mills, who took over last game. Levis against Stroud, questionable, or Mills. Tennessee's really doesn't score a lot. Houston without Stroud got 6 on the JETSs, but that's a really good defense as this is. So this should be low scoring also. I don't think Houston does anything with this lineup. The New Orleans, 639.5 against the Giants. I don't mind DeVito here. Carr looks like he's playing. Under Team New Orleans, Z Team, the Giants, who with DeVito, I'm going to make them a W team. There's Z Team with Jones, and now with Danny DeVito, they're moving up. They're scoring more points, so they're a W. Yeah, I like this game. Miami 8.5, 37.5 to the JETSs. Looks like Wilson is a go and tag. It looks like the running back is questionable for the Jets. And then I just said Mozart and Hill are questionable. I'm sure they play. I don't think I've ever seen a team like an over team like Miami be at 37. I go over 31 in a Miami game. I mean, that's a halftime score. And I was watching the Jets highlights, and their offense looked a lot better. They were throwing the ball, crossing patterns, and they scored a lot of points. I think this game goes way over without a problem. 31. I mean, the Jets defense is okay, but I think this game's got to go way over. Alex, check out on this page when you get a chance. Shows confirmed lineups, inactives, weather, and spread. Check out this page. What page? Well, which page are you talking about? I think the page I'm looking at gives you most of that too. But yeah, let me know what page that is. So here, 8.5, 37.5. Miami doesn't have the defense to really lay 8.5 with, but I think the over is the play. KC 8.5, 37. Still questioning the 8.5. I guess it's because Pacheco's out, but I got a feeling Mahomes is going to be extremely. He's lost 2 in a row. They're not losing to New England. Mahomes against Zappy, 8.5 and 37 is the over. I don't know about the over here because KC doesn't score much and has the defense, although I can't imagine, again, 31 in a Kansas City game and a Miami game. What the fuck's going on? These all should be 43, 44s. The Niners, 12.5, 47.5. They're coming down for us, 12.5. That's bettable now. 13.5, I got to give 7.5 I don't like. 12.5, I only got to give 6.5 against Arizona. Yeah, I like the Niners here, 6.5. The Rams, 6.5, 50.5. Up from 48. Should be a high scoring game, I think. I think the Rams win. Let's put this score in 38-20. I think the Rams win, and it's high scoring. Washington's got a 30 defense. Stafford's going to eat it alive. And, the Rams are a pretty good defensive team. Shows you how good offense Baltimore has. Buffalo, 1.5, 50.5. Against Dallas. Dallas's defense scares me on the over here. However, 44 I think can be had. Dallas is the A team, Buffalo's the B team. Let's put a score in. Dallas 31, Buffalo 27. I think Dallas wins. I think they're the dog. I think I want to take the points. The defense there, I don't know what this number is. Why do they always call when I'm teaching? What link above? You didn't put a link in. I'm not sure it gives you a link, Alex. I think these YouTube things, I know when I try to put a link on one of these gold ones that I watch, they won't put it in. So just type it without the link because YouTube will not promote others. Yeah, I'll put in, you want real economics, come to this, and it won't. So I got to just say, instead of the Teaser King, I just got to say Teaser King, or you can see my nick when I type in a comment. Let's see. Ravens, 3.5, 42.5 to Jacksonville. I got 34-17 Baltimore. They score 30 points a game. It's unbelievable. And they got a really strong defense. LA, that's how strong their offense is, right? Baltimore's the A team. 3.5, 42.5. I'm not sure if it goes over because Baltimore's defense is like Dallas's defense. It's a really strong defense that can shut them down, like Dallas shut down Philly last week. Philly's explosive. I locked the over. I got it at the end, but it's I don't want to fuck with these strong defensive teams here. So 34-17 Baltimore. Let me see something. No, it wasn't like I'm expecting a call from my mechanic, which I have to take for my brakes. I want to get the oil changed. I need brakes. And so I left a message, but that call wasn't the right area code. Unless it was him on a different phone. You email? Okay, I'll check the email. So I like the Ravens 3.5. Jacksonville's sputtering. Lawrence is hurt. I don't know. I'm not a big Jacksonville fan anyway. Last but not least, Philly 3.5, 47.5. Hurts against maybe Smith or maybe Locke. Philly's a total over team. Their defense is not good at all. So I look to bet Philly over as opposed to betting Philly. 3.5 here. Again, I can get Baltimore in 2.5 and Philly in 2.5, which is a pretty attractive bet. Let's go Philadelphia 31 and Seattle 24 if they got Smith. That should be a pretty high scoring game. So I'm going to go to my thing. So this, I don't know if you're talking this, but I get weather, 88 and rain. I get the spread. I got the team. So it might be what you're talking about, Alex. But I got it for college, which is good. So let's see. Miami and the Jets, Tagliavua, Mozart and Hill. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is great. And there's one for college. If you click up in the top, if you click here, then it gives you the option of going college. All right, so let's go back through everything. So tonight it's stick and no Keenan Allen and Jacobs and Adams for Vegas. For Oakland is questionable. It's O'Connell. Now, although I'm noticing some of the spreads seem to be off in college, or they've changed. I'm hoping they're these spreads because I love some of these spreads in college that I saw, but I got different lines where I go, and they're off by a lot. Some are 5-6 points, so I don't know which one's correct. Minnesota, Mullins, and then Jefferson's questionable. Browning and Chase and Mixon and Higgins are all playing. So really it's just Jefferson for Minnesota with Mullins. Since he's 2.5, 40.5. Mullins against Browning. I'm going to go 2016 Cincinnati. Minnesota seems to have a good defense, apparently. They got an 18 defense. So, yeah, they've got a good defense. Cincy, again, it's Browning against Mullins. I just don't see Browning lighting it up again. He's not that good. It was a lot of little short passes. Pitt, Indy, Trubisky, Najee Harris, and everybody else. In Indy, you don't have Taylor, but it doesn't say you don't have Taylor. It says you got Moss. and Minshew. And I think one of the receivers is out. They've got Pittman, Downs, and Pierce. So I don't know what that's all about. So looks like everybody, Trubisky against Minshew. That's the Saturday afternoon. And then the Detroit game, and we get Rolson against Goff. Everybody's healthy for Denver, and Reynolds is questionable for the Lions. Who cares? Atlanta, Carolina, we've got Riddler against Young, and that's what we've got. Pretty healthy. This line's Atlanta minus 334, so that's the same line. Which got Detroit. Yeah, Detroit 4.5, 47.5. So that seems to be the correct line. Boy, we're gonna make a killing in college if these lines are right here in college. The Bears in Cleveland, we've got, like I said, Fields against Flacco. DJ Moore's questionable. St. Brown's questionable. St. Brown missed last week. Flacco against Ford's questionable, the running back. So Hunt's gone and Chubb's gone. This is the only problem. Like Elijah Moore, is he their starting receiver? Maybe not, but you didn't know Keenan Allen. It didn't say Keenan Allen was doubtful or out. It just said, here's the other receiver. So you got to know the starters and know Keenan Allen is out and his name's not even coming up. It's very misleading here. This is the only problem I see with this site. 338.5. All right. Tampa Bay, Godwin is questionable. It's Mayfield against Jordan Love. Jones is questionable. I doubt he'll play. Watson and Reed are questionable. They were like that last week. Watson did not play. It's a big playoff game, so both teams need it. And this is 3.5, 41.5. And that's pretty much what I got. The Jets in Miami, again, Zach Wilson against Tag. Breece Hall, questionable. And then Mozart and Hill, which will both play, are questionable. So this is actually I got 27-18 Miami, somewhere in that neighborhood. Maybe. Well, if Hill plays, yeah. Maybe 24-18. How about that? That's a 42. That goes over. Yeah, that's about right. Again, it's like the Monday Nighter when I told you Tennessee in 19 is a joke, and they win. I didn't expect them to win the game. And here you got the Jets. It's 8.5. You get the Jets in 14.5. I really think they are so overvaluing Miami, like they're this big, powerful offense. Baltimore's like that. Philadelphia is like that. Kansas City is not anymore. Buffalo, kind of, but not Miami. They are not this explosive offense. Only if they play a weak defense, and Tagliafua's got time. But you blitz them, they're not scoring 10 points. KC, New England, Mahomes against Zappi, Pacheco questionable, Stevenson questionable, Parker, Douglas, and Smith-Schuster. So all the New England receivers are questionable. Why is the line 8.5? Oh, I got 7.5 now. Ooh, wow. See, I just read 8.5, so I don't know where they're coming up with 7.5. That's not right in 37. All right. New Orleans and the Giants, Danny DeVito. Everybody's healthy on the Giants. Carr is going to play. It's Olave and Shaheed are questionable. Kamara's fine. So now it's really up to Olave and New Orleans and the Giants. I got 27-24 New Orleans. I think DeVito, I don't think he hurts us at all. He runs enough. He's very accurate. He finds the guys open. They just beat Green Bay. I think they can play with New Orleans a lot better than Carolina could, right? There's a big difference between DeVito and Young. And and Stroud and these guys. DeVito's a lot better. So I like DeVito over under 39. Yeah, I mean, I think I 27-24. I think it's a good should be some good scores. Houston, Tennessee. Now here's a case where everybody's questionable. Stroud questionable, Levis questionable, Nico Collins and Noah Brown at Houston are questionable. So there's quite a bit of problems at Houston. They don't have anybody. So what we do is if the Houston guys don't play, this becomes an under because Henry and Hopkins are playing. If Levis is out and Stroud's out, it's a lock under, right, at 37. So if you have any idea on the injuries, and Alex probably does, if Stroud and Collins and Brown are out and Levis is out and the spread's 37 over under, bet your house under. Where are they going to get points? They can barely get points with Stroud. They are an E team with a 21 defense. Well, they have 21 defenses. Tennessee's an under, and Houston's pretty much an E team. But again, Stroud being I saw the play. I don't know. Well, I didn't really see the play. I saw the beginning of the play, then he was down. So I didn't really see what happened, but I guess it's a concussion type of thing. So he's got to clear concussion protocol. The Niners, everybody's healthy. Arizona, Brown and Wilson, the receivers are questionable. Kyler Murray and Connor are fine. So it's Brock Purdy against Kyler Murray. Frisco, Arizona. Frisco with the 15 defense, Arizona the 25. A against W. All Niners, 12.5. You can lay 6.5. Again, it's like the Dallas game. Do I go over or the Baltimore game? But their defense is so strong, I'm not sure that Arizona is going to score. And therefore, then how do I get over? And if I need Frisco to score all the points, then lay 6.5. So what are we going to get from Arizona is the question. Washington and the Rams. Brooks Robinson's questionable for Washington. The Rams, Howell against Stafford's fine. And Tutu Atwell is questionable for the Rams, which should, as long as Kupp and Nakachaka are playing. And this Williams has been running really good. I got the Rams 38-20. Over under, this is 6.5, 50. Yeah, that's just what I got. So, yeah, the Rams are rolling. Dallas and Buffalo. Let's see, Buffalo 250.5. Yeah, I can live with that. Instead of 1.5, 250. Keep in mind when I go on the other site, there's like 6. There's one that hits that I read, but then if you go into the game, there's 6 different casinos that, well, they're not even casinos, like this BetMGM and all this bullshit. So that's the new sports book. It's ridiculous. But those are, and they all have shitty odds. But so you can choose the best one. So if you like Dallas here, you get the 2 up to 8. And if you like Buffalo, you got 1.5, you get 4.5. 250.5. Again, I am scared of the over because of Dallas's defense. On the other hand, I still think it goes. It should be cold. We've got to check the wind. The wind says 17 miles per hour here, which makes me like the better, the better running teams, Dallas. So we'll see. 17 miles an hour winds, pretty good. But they throw the ball hard, so it shouldn't. I'd say once you get over 20, you got problems. Baltimore, Jacksonville. Now here you do have problems. Everybody's healthy for Baltimore. Trevor Lawrence is now ready. Etienne and Jones are questionable, but here I'm seeing 22-mile-an-hour winds. Baltimore 3 and 42.5. So Yeah, you've got big wins here. Definitely will help Baltimore because they run the ball better, especially if Adney's questionable. But now I don't know that you get the over with the win. So we got to, again, that's today. Is this the win for Sunday? And Monday, Philly, Seattle, no wind at all, 5 miles an hour. Philly, 3.5, 47.5. That's right. Hertz is fine. Philly's all fine. Geno Smith's questionable. Otherwise, everybody, Metcalf, Lockett, are okay. So if it ain't Smith, it's Lock. No wind. I like it over if I get Smith, probably either of them. Again, a very weak defense for Philly, but they're a very good over team. So Philly's a really good over team, and Buffalo's a good over team. The Rams seem to be an over team. Kansas City's strictly an under. Miami is an over team. Chicago, pretty much an over. That's about it. The rest, I mean, are just so you only have a few over teams. All right. So that is the pros. Let's go through the win. I didn't see the win and didn't speculate on it. So tonight, we don't care. The game's in Oakland. Cincinnati, 6 mile an hour wind, nothing. I assume this is Sunday's win. Indy's in the dome. Detroit's in the dome. Carolina, we've got 24 mile an hour winds. So Atlanta, Carolina, that's a really good under because Carolina can't score anyway. Atlanta runs the ball, so the wind shouldn't really bother them too much. Cleveland, 16 mile an hour winds against the Bears. I was thinking over in the game. Flacco against Fields. 24-20 the Bears. How about that? I don't know. The Bears, I mean, they're winning with Cleveland's winning with Flacco. It's just, it's insane. Are they that good? I mean, Hunt's out and Chubb's out and Thompson Robinson's out. What the fuck? Here's Flacco. And what did he do last week? 31-27, but it was over Jacksonville, not a real team. So that's why I'm kind of leaning Jacksonville against Baltimore. I'm leaning Baltimore to score a ton, but we got this win. So we got to see what the win is on Sunday. Tampa Bay, Green Bay, 8 mile an hour wind, and it's 40 degrees. So that'll be pretty mild if that's game time Sunday temperature. Then I can take Tampa Tampa, I think is a live dog here. Maybe over 42-36. The Jets in Miami, 23 mile an hour winds in Miami. So I can see why the total is 37, but I think that's a bit low. I still think they score. I mean, the Jets will do their share. What do I got? 24-18. Yeah, it's you only need 31. Yeah, the wind's 23 miles an hour, but it's such a low total. I think they're overreacting to this wind stuff. KC, New England, 48, 10 mile an hour wind, no problem. New Orleans in a dome, Tennessee, 12 mile an hour winds, no problem. Arizona's in a dome. The Rams are in a dome. Buffalo is 17 mile an hour, 47 degrees, chance of rain. So you're not getting winds here. 17, well, maybe a little. But again, I'm taking the dog more than I'm taking the over here. I don't trust the over with Dallas, so even if it's windy, it makes Dallas a better play. Then you really want to just take the points. Baltimore, Jacksonville, here's the 22 mile an hour wind. And let me write down 17 on Dallas. But it really, I think, is more for over-unders. Baltimore will just run Lamar more. Jacksonville, Etning's questionable, and Trevor Lawrence is injured. Is he going to run the ball with his injury? I saw he threw 50 times last week. What the fuck? That's because he can't run, so he's throwing every down, and he's like 20 out of 50, and they lost. So if he's got to sit in the pocket, he sucks. Baltimore will blitz the hell out of him, wind or no wind. And then Philly, Seattle, 6 mile an hour. Rain, 46 degrees, 82% rain. So you're going to get rain in Seattle, but no wind. Philly will run the ball, and we will see. So that's pro football. Now, my goody goodies, let's go to college. Now, I saw some lines in here that, I'm off 8-9 points. I'm hoping that's what it is. Georgia Southern, Ohio -1. It's Georgia Southern -3.5. Over under 48.5. That is the over under. So now I got to go back to the other site. Is Ohio really a 1-point favorite? Because it is not making sense what we got. See, I got Georgia Southern -3.5 here. So let me go into the matchup and see, is there any? They're all 3.5. So these lines are not making sense in this, right? Ohio -1. See, it's got Ohio -1, but I just saw Georgia Southern -3.5. I like Ohio in the 9.5. I don't like the -1. 48.5. The total is right. I don't know what's going on and no weather info available. So this looks like it's a few days old. Let me refresh, which I just did. Yeah, it's still Ohio -1. So the spread in here has not been adjusted, I don't believe, but the total is okay, or just simply hasn't moved. So Ohio, Georgia Southern. Ohio is much better and a strong defense, a 15 defense. And I think what I'm going to do when I really am struggling here, I'm just going to go to the defense. The defense will show up in a bowl game. The offense won't. Now, Ohio is starting a new quarterback, Navarro. I've never heard of. Navarro was named the starting quarterback for Ohio's bowl game against Georgia Southern. Curtis Rourke was Ohio's starting quarterback for most, but he's entered the transfer portal. So anybody in the transfer portal is not playing. So we've got a new quarterback with Ohio. And as we saw, he did not, in 20, well, he was at UCF in 21. In Ohio, he was 5 of 12, and now he was 7 of 10 with 2 touchdowns this year. So is Navarro, what do you get with Navarro? I don't know. Bryn, I know from Georgia Southern. So it's going to be probably going to run and play defense. So it's probably a very good underplay. Jacksonville State against Lou Lafayette. The game is in Lou Lafayette. Apparently the game's in Lafayette. And it's Zion Webb, who I think is their normal quarterback for Jacksonville State. No, it's not. Oh no, he threw for 1,200. Let's see. Oh no, he was 97 out of 194, 50%, 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Okay. So I feel bad. So Webb's their normal starter, Jacksonville State. Not a very good one. Chris is questionable at Lou Lafayette. Probably not playing. That's why Jacksonville State's 3-point favorite. Lafayette doesn't have a quarterback. I got no quarterback. So it's probably an under 59. Jacksonville State's a 20. Lou Lafayette's a 28 defense. So again, we don't know who the backup quarterback, if he's good or not. So probably an under there. Miami of Ohio against App. Miami of Ohio, I do not recognize this name. Henry Heason. Brett Gabbert and Avon Smith, the leg injuries. And Avon Smith went to the transfer portal. You've got to be fucking kidding me. All right, we got to add a App State. Aguilar is very good. 35 touchdowns, 5 picks. All right. Hold on, everybody. We got to bet App State here. See, but this is good. I didn't know that. Why would Avion Smith leave Miami of Ohio? Where's he going to go? So Henry, this is the problem. Like these guys, he's terrible. Here's Henry Hessen. New Aguilar's very good. Miami's got a good defense. Miami with the 16 defense, but App State's is too strong with Aguilar. And how many turnovers is this Henson going to have? So roll App State, beat Navy. Now here, New Mexico State, Fresno State, Pavia against Keene. Let me see what the line is. App State 6.5, which it is, and 43, which it is. So this line is right. That's an awful low number in an App State game. However, Miami of Ohio with a strong defense. However, I don't anticipate Aguilar at App State having a lot of trouble with Miami of Ohio's offense. Again, this is a MAC conference defense that it's a 16 defense in the MAC when half the teams don't score 20 points. Now you're facing a real 40-point team in App State who plays a lot of big games with North Carolina State. So, roll App State, absolutely. New Mexico State, Fresno State. Now here I have a problem. Fresno State, 2.5, 51. I only would wish that this was the spread. But we go into the other site. And we've got New Mexico State minus 3.5. So, obviously I would take the other side because I want to take New Mexico State, but let's go into the matchup. But I don't think I'm going to find anything but 3.5. So I don't know where they're getting their line. And the pros, it seems to be accurate. Here, I don't know what they're doing. It's 3.5 New Mexico State. That's what I got to go with. So I don't know where they're getting this Fresno State minus 2.5. That's where I was like, oh, really? I can get New Mexico State in 8.5 when I know they're 3.5 point favorites? Over under a 51. See, the over under is fine, but the spread is ridiculous. Pavia against Mikey Keene. Again, the problem is if the running backs aren't right, you don't know it. You just see, this Sherrard's playing for Fresno. See their running back. Now I know the pros with Keenan Allen, but I don't know what's going on here. So should be 21 defense, New Mexico State, 25 Fresno State. I can't take Fresno State. I am not betting against New Mexico State. But now I lean towards the over because both quarterbacks are playing. So probably more of that. UCLA, Garber is probable. Steele, the running back for UCLA, is questionable. CJ Tiller, I don't recognize that name. So let me write this down. CJ Tiller. Taylor Green and Maddox splitting snaps. However, Green is transferred to Arkansas, and Madsen is recovering from a leg injury. Can you believe this shit? Unbelievable. This guy's not played a down in his life. Nothing. Okay, so we've got a whole new quarterback for Boise against an 18 defense. We're going under, way under here. UCLA, I mean, I think I'll shut him out now. This guy's got no chance against UCLA. So this is the problem. So the regular quarterback played in the championship game against Vegas, and he looked good. And here we get to the bowl game. It's like it doesn't mean anything. Garbers was a starter quarter at UCLA, got hurt, but is back. Steele, I've heard of. So, yeah, okay. Boise, new quarterback, which makes the under very attractive in UCLA here. If it's a strong team, we go with the team. But if it's a UCLA doesn't score, has this great defense, then we go with the under here. So let me mark that. And it's 48.5. And we're going to go make a bet. So hold on, everybody. Where else do you get a better live doing his thing? UCLA under. Okay. So UCLA, Boise, again, Boise's quarterback I never heard of. Roll UCLA. Cal against Texas Tech. We got Mendoza and Ott going for Cal, and Morton and Brooks. So we got Mendoza's been playing very well quarterback for Cal. Ott is the superstar runner. He's playing. And then Morton is a decent quarterback. And then Brooks is a very good running back also. Texas Tech -3, that's what it is. And over under 57. So this line's fine. And I do like Cal and 9 with Mendoza and Ott. And on the same token, I like the over 57, 51. I think that's they're both excellent bets. All right, let's go. Western Kentucky, Old Dominion. Austin Reed against Grant Wilson. You tell me which team is which. Austin Reed, Western Kentucky, and Grant Wilson, OD, are their normal quarterbacks. And the spread's Old D 2.5, 55.5. And that's actually right. So most of these are right. They just fucked up the Fresno State line and the Lou Lafayette line and the Ohio line. So they only have 3 bad lines out of 7. Old D's an E team with a 26 defense. Western Kentucky's an over with a 28 defense. I think this would go over with these quarterbacks, and that their defenses are kind of weak, and we just need a 50. Texas San Antonio against Marshall. Frank Harris, there he is. He's playing. They are 12.5 and 53. Yeah, that's about what I got. Marshalls look like shit, and they're going to Pennington. Rashid Ali, you got to be careful with the running back for Marshall. Is very good.
You have very good connections with Dan.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, Fancher is their starter. Pennington's not. That's why the line's going. So this Pennington's terrible. Fancher's really good. Frank Harris, we know, is very good. 12.5, 52. Marshall with the 28 defense. UTSA should light them up here. Big game against this weak defense, and they don't really have anything. So let's go UTSA, beat Navy. UCF, or USF, not UCF, South Florida against Syracuse. Byron Brown is their normal quarterback. I am that good. And Schrader for Syracuse. And that's their normal quarterback. So we got normal quarterbacks. We've got Syracuse 3.5, 61. That line's fine. South Florida is a big over team, 35 defense. Syracuse is an E team with a 24. Over under 61. This should go way over. This should be an 80-pointer. South Florida can score, and they can't stop a high school team. Syracuse was scoring a lot before they played Florida State and Clemson and these times. So against the weaker teams, they were scoring a lot. So look for this to be really high scoring. Georgia Tech, UCF, Haynes King against Plumlee. That's their normal quarterbacks. Both over teams. Georgia Tech 31 defense. Put up 20-some against Georgia. UCF 25 defense, over under a 63 here. UCF 4.5. So definitely it's an over here. 63 over. What do you hear? Miami's starting quarterback, you'll laugh your ass off. So yeah, this Georgia Tech, there's 100, 52-48 this game, over 63. There you go. I'll be nice. Merry Christmas. Arkansas State, Northern Illinois. Rayner against Lombardi is actually their starting quarterbacks. I should get a star from you guys when I actually know the Arkansas quarterback's name's Rayner. Against Lombardi was at Michigan State. So He went from Michigan State to Northern Illinois, and he sucks there. Shows you how bad a recruiter Michigan State is. Ark State, 1 in 53.5. That's about what I got. Ark State's a strong over team with a 31 defense. Northern Illinois is an E with a 21 defense. I think Northern Illinois can score. You get into the bowl games, I think they just score and they go for fourth down. And Arkansas can definitely light it up with no defense. This game definitely goes over. 52. This is a fucking joke. 52 go over 46 in this game? Really? Vegas is on drugs again with the line that's off by 10 points. Wow. Okay. Arkansas State. You want to hand me money? I'll take it. Absolutely. Wow. Troy and Duke. My favorite team, Troy. Gunnar Watson, what a name for a quarterback, is the quarterback. He's like 35 touchdown passes. Very good. Good. I would draft this guy instead of half the NFL quarterbacks. Let's say he's better than O'Connell, Mullins, Browning, Trubisky, Goff, Flacco, Love, Stroud, Levis. Go down the list. This guy's better than all of them. Oh, but he didn't play at USC or Oregon, so we can't draft. He didn't play at Alabama. We can't draft him. Alabama wishes they had this guy. They'd be undefeated. Against Bellin for Duke. Now we know Leonard got hurt and is out, and I think he's transfer pooling it. Bellin was the replacement. Did okay, nothing spectacular. Let's look at his stats. This is the beautiful thing. I can go in and see his stats right here. Bellin, 4 games, was 13 of 26, 232 yards, 3 touchdowns, 13 of 20. So this guy's a running quarterback. Troy with the strong defense, 17 defense. Vidal, they have a very strong running back in Vidal. He's like 1,200, 1,300 yards. So look for Troy to run the ball. Where are you, Troy? Where'd you go? Here you go. Look for Troy to run the ball with Vidal. Watson can score. Duke will have the big defense, and Bellin. I'm a little scared to take Troy 7-point favorites down to here. They got Duke minus 6.5. They're reading it wrong. It's Troy that's 6.5. Let me fucking make sure. Come on, boys. Double check your lines here. Troy. I know I had Troy minus 7. Yeah, Troy minus 7.5. I mean, you can't fuck that up. So this other site's wrong. Yeah, so this is really Troy minus 6.5, maybe, with the 44.5. So they must just be having it in whatever order it's in is what they're doing without really looking. So Troy, let's say 7, 44.5. The 44.5's right. I think you go under. I think Troy's a 17 defense. Duke's a 20. Duke's strong defensively. Bellin's not going to. Apparently, all he does is run, which turns it into an Army-Navy ball control, eat the clock type of game. And Duke held Notre Dame to a 20-14 or whatever. Go under, beat Army 44.5, under 50 with it in a Duke game with 2 strong defenses. Yeah, Troy will probably win, but Duke's Duke, good defense. You can't say anything about it. So let's go under there. James Madison against Air Force. Zach Larriere, the quarterback that we love on Air Force, is questionable. So maybe he will heal in time. Barnett. I don't think Barnett is their quarterback. Come on. No, he played one game. It was 3 of 11 for 15 yards and an interception. Yeah, Jordan McLeod's their quarterback, throws for like 35 touchdowns. Yeah, so he's not their normal quarterback. James Madison, where does that really? So McLeod's what, in the transfer portal, I guess? Okay, so we've got, where are we? Okay, James Madison in the Air Force. So we've got Larry Air questionable, but we don't have McLeod. We've got 2 18 defenses. So what do we do in a game? And we've got 2 injured. We're not playing quarterbacks and 2 strong defenses. Yes, we go under. Wow, I'm finding games. Wait a minute, I got to go back with the UCLA game, and maybe I got to put it with the Air Force. This is the 23rd, so this is next Saturday. So we will know if Larry R. This is the hard part. We're waiting. If Larry R. plays and we got Air Force in 2.5, I'm betting Air Force in 8.5. However, if he doesn't play, this is under 48 all fucking day. 2.5, 41. This line's right. James Madison, 2.5, 42. That's what it says. Okay. Georgia State, Utah State. Granger for Georgia State is their real quarterback, and Cooper Legis is Utah State's real quarterback. He's questionable. Utah State's -1, which is right, and 62. I got 61, but we love the Utah State if Legis plays, and he looks like he's questionable. He probably will go. This is a Utah State play because Georgia State's terrible. They're really a Z team, but you don't know it because their stats fuck you up. And Georgia State's got a 30 defense, which I think is a 35. And Utah 34, but Georgia State doesn't have offense. So again, you've got a terrible offense and no defense for Georgia State against strong offense and no defense for Utah State. Roll Utah State. Maybe Jordan Love will go back there, finish off his career there. Yeah, I mean, this is all Utah State if Legis plays. He is questionable. Briggs, the running back, I don't know if he's any good, is questionable also. South Alabama and Eastern Michigan. Really, this is actually a bowl game. Wow. South Alabama is 16-47. That is right. They're a B team, 22, but Bradley, their quarterback, who's really good, is questionable. Eastern Michigan, I've never heard this guy. Ike and Dagowuga he's 0 touchdowns. What's his stats? 13 of 28 for 100 yards and 2 interceptions. So we definitely don't like Eastern Michigan here. Excuse me. USA, well, it's Bradley if he plays, if he's questionable. Lane 16, the 22 defense. Eastern's a 24. Again, every defense in the MAC is skewed because they don't have any offenses in the MAC. There was 5 or 6 teams, I think 6 teams, that didn't get 250 yards in a game and didn't score 25 points in a game. So, of course, are the defenses that strong? I don't think so. So, Eastern, South Alabama, we've got they call it USA. I would never call South Alabama USA. So I like, we got to make sure the quarterback's healthy. It's a big number, 47 over under. We're dealing with the 22 and the 24 defense, but Eastern doesn't have a quarterback. So I guess you can go, maybe you go under if Bradley doesn't play. You got 2 quarterbacks nobody ever heard of. So we'll see. Starting to sound like the NFL. Who the hell is this? Utah Luke Patari. Never heard of this guy. Patari was 6 for 10 for 61 yards during Saturday's 23-17 victory over Colorado. He also had 5 rushes for 11 yards. What? This is November 26th. Okay, whatever. Batari got the start. Byron Browns was ruled out, and although he didn't impress, he did just enough to keep the off. So this guy sucks. But Burns, I think, is transferring. So this guy blows Batari for Utah. Northwestern, Ben Bryant. Yes, that's their regular quarterback. Utah is laying 6.5, 42. Well, see here, they got Northwestern 742. All right. I think it's Utah. I would have noticed if Northwestern was favored. Yeah, Utah 6.5. Why are they fucking up? So Utah's the favorite in the game. 6.5, 42. The 42 is right. You got no quarterback. You got strong defense. They're both under teams. You got to go under 42, under 48 all day. Especially Utah doesn't have a quarterback, so they're going to run. I'm not even sure Jackson and Glover are their running backs. I'm not sure any of their players are their starters. And Northwestern, Ben Bryant, but Utah's defense is going to play, I assume. So this has got to be an under. Coastal Carolina, San Jose State. This should be a mismatch. San Jose State 10, 9.5, 54. Coastal Carolina starting Ethan Vascu. Never heard of him. Against Cordero, who I have told you about all year. He's a strong quarterback. San Jose State 9.5. East Carolina Coastal Carolina gives up 25. San Jose State 26. Over under a 54. I'm not fucking with that. I'm just going to fuck with San Jose State because it's not McCall for Coastal Carolina. And I don't know. Never heard of this guy. All right, Bowling Green, Minnesota. Basilak, I've heard of for Bowling Green. Cole Kramer, I've never heard of for Minnesota. So Bowling Green's a 24 defense. Minnesota's a 27. They were a W anyway with their other quarterback who's in the transfer pool. Minnesota. So here the line's right, 438.5. Jesus Christ. This is another Bowling Green. Are they an under? Wow, I got 38 as their, 38. I don't know, folks. I mean, do I go over 32 here? 2 kind of weak defenses, and Basilak is maybe you take Basilak. Maybe I go Bowling Green. I really want to go Bowling Green. I don't know. This is a game I would stay 1,000 feet away from. Texas Stat. This is probably one of those Bobby questions. Hey, who do you like in this game? All right, Texas State and Rice. Finley against Paget. Paget I have heard of. He played in Rice's last few games. He's 61 of 96, 636 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, played in 4 games. I don't have a problem with him. See, when you come in and you score 7 touchdowns, that's okay. Finley, this will be an explosive game. Texas State. Texas State, very explosive. Both of these, Texas State's a 45 points and give up 33. Rice is in the upper 30s, gives up 27. Over under is a 60 here. You're looking at a 90-point game here. This game will be 50s and 40s because there's no defense that can handle it. And Paget's played enough that he'll be fine against this defense. So go over. Texas State is a 4-point favorite, but maybe you take Rice, but I'd rather go over. It'll be a lot of points. My favorites, Kansas and Vegas. Kansas, Daniels has been – I don't think Daniels is the quarterback. He hurt his back. He's out with the back. I don't see him. Although Neal, the running back, is like the 1,300-yard rusher. And Mia Avila for Vegas is their quarterback. And Vegas is not a 12-point favorite, folks. That I can guarantee you. It is Kansas as the 12-point favorite, 64.5. Go over in this game. This will be a 90-point game at least. Kansas clearly will be 26 defense for Kansas. Vegas 27. Boise put up a 50 on them in the championship game. Look for this. Look for Kansas in the 50s here. Vegas will score. This will be at least an 80-point game. Go over 64.5. Jesus Christ, I got more bets to make. This is the problem, just trying to figure out the things. Bobby Bo, hey, Bobby Bo. I just saw the long Christmas list of players who are opting out of their teams' bowl games. It's a damn shame. Shake my head, of course. Bring on the extended playoff, for Christ's sake. Well, why do you have the bowl games? See, they're trying to say, well, the teams, the players don't care about the bowl games because it's not for the playoff. Well, it wasn't when Michigan won in 97, there was no playoff. It was Michigan, if they won the Rose Bowl against Washington State, Alabama still played in Southern Cal and Nebraska, Oklahoma. The guys didn't sit down. They were happy to be in it. And where have we gotten from? It's starting to get very, very liberal here, socialist, because it's almost like, here's the trophy for trying, Charlie. You played. Your team lost every game by 50 points, but you played. You tried. So we're giving you a trophy so you don't feel bad. That's what I'm feeling like. Well, if I can't win the championship, I'm not going to fucking play in the bowl game. Now, a lot of it is the transfer portal. And this site's very good at telling you when the quarterback is not playing, he's in the transfer portal, as I was reading, if you heard. So, like, some of these quarterbacks are in the transfer portal that I couldn't believe. Like Marshall's quarterback is not – he's in the transfer portal. And I think that James Madison is – the Coastal Carolina, Minnesota's is Lou Lafayette, Miami of Ohio, of all. Their backup quarterback is in the transfer portal. What the fuck? Boise's, both their quarterbacks are in the transfer portal. Marshall's, what the fuck is going on here? North Carolina, May is in the transfer portal. Stone got hurt for SMU. He's not in the portal. Hartman's sitting out so he can get ready for the fucking draft. What a fucking pussy that guy is. And so's Buglia. He's transferring again too. They got their starting quarterback from last year is going to make his first appearance for Oregon State. So just hammer Notre Dame, Oregon State under. Yeah, Andrew Luck and RG3 and guys like that always played in bowl games. Now it's all opting out. It's really losing integrity, right? For instance, Jaden Daniel is still trying to decide if he's going to play or not. Right now he's playing, which got hesitant to wager in the game as it affects the line. Of course, the reason Uglia Buglia is because he went from Clemson to Oregon State. But the quarterback of Oregon State couldn't handle him, and he went to Michigan State. So the coach of Oregon State is now the coach of Michigan State. Uglia Buglia could never beat out anybody. So he's figuring he's fucked, that he won't start. They'll actually see that he's a terrible quarterback, like against Oregon, where he was, 9 of 28 for 50 yards. It's a joke. So I think you see that, and off you go. But it's really, football is becoming unwatchable. You got to only watch the highlights because they take 5 minutes to do the review. Why is there a review? You've got refs on the field. Could you imagine in baseball, every time it was like you think it was a ball and it called a strike, you do a replay on it? Oh, no, Bobby, you're right, Bobby, that was a ball. It was outside. The ref fucked up and called it, the ump fucked up and called it a strike. No, that's really a ball, Bobby. You're right. Yeah, Bobby throws the red flag. Wait a minute, I'm challenging that this was a strike. That's about what you have in football. The line to gain, I throw up when I hear it. It's the first down. The first down line. There's no line to gain. What is that? Why are they changing the names? These are the communists fucking around with people, right? They're coming up with these, all the juniors and seniors on the jerseys. Joe Bob Jr., Joe Bob the Third. It's all political, and racism. Oh, so if we put it on the end line in the football field, that'll end it. I'm sure all that does is piss people off because they see it. We don't want to see it. We want to watch football. And it's certainly not going to end it. I don't even know what it is. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. It's to separate the countries, what it does, and it's terrible. But yeah, put it on the end line. That'll end it. Okay, and racism's over. They put it on the end line. Unfucking believable. Hey, Todd. What a clown show with transfers. You should go to transfer one time only and get cake and eat it too. Well, they are getting a free education, which is now like $200,000. And yet everybody conveniently forgets this. And then it becomes, who was I listening to, where the guy is going to play another season instead of joining pros. I don't remember who it was. I was listening on the radio, and they were saying he's going to transfer instead of and then I'm hearing that in the NFL, like the top 5 spots are guaranteed money. Like it's a $35 million guaranteed contract. What the fuck is that? I wouldn't draft in the first 5 picks then. Because if I got to guarantee some guy who I can't guarantee is any good unless his name's Joe Burrow, Joe Montana, you can't. Brady was in the 7th round. You couldn't even guarantee that. And then you've got, okay, maybe Caleb, maybe Bo Nix and Penix, maybe Hartman. I'm seeing Hartman a 3rd round pick. What are these guys on drugs? 3rd round? Fuck, what are you kidding me? Yeah, we'll go with Danny DeVito over Hartman. Oh, my God. It should be the opposite. They should have to play in the bowl games. They probably want paid to play to Bobby, yeah. They probably want paid to play. Well, I mean, is college professional? The definition of professional is you get paid to do it. You're in college, you're not a professional. And then I hope they start taxing these motherfuckers. You want to get paid in college, then you start paying taxes. That'll stop a lot of this shit. But this is absolutely, the players are so out of touch with reality. It's ridiculous. That what the fuck? Why do you Oogly Boogly is at Clemson? He sucks. He goes to Oregon State. The coach leaves, so he leaves. Aren't you good enough to make the team, Oogly Boogly? Come on. And then watch, wait, somebody, the Cleveland Browns will draft Oogly Boogly, or the Giants or somebody will draft Oogly Boogly. I mean, look at the Giants. They just signed Daniel Jones to like $35 million a year, and now DeVito's 10 times better. Now what do you do? What are you going to do with Jones? Trade him to whom? Nobody's going to give this idiot money. He shouldn't even be in the league. He should have never been a starter. And now here comes DeVito. You don't even draft him, and he's much better. Oh my God, this is how stupid these GMs are. All these players are getting too entitled. It's getting annoying and stupid. And that's the problem. And then don't touch the quarterback. So they all got to wear skirts. And if you touch the guy too hard, he gets hurt. Oh, we can't have that. Oh, Herbert got hurt. We can't have that. None of the players should get hurt. It's fucking football. I don't really get what the problem is with hitting. We watch the game for the hits. I want to see the quarterback get his head taken off. I want to see Jack Tatum take out these Sammy White. That's what I want to watch for. Or Jack Lambert crushing somebody. That's football. It's a violent game. We know that. Don't go in. If you're worried of getting hurt, go play tennis. Go play golf. Do not play football then. I mean, I don't understand. I don't get. All right, so Kansas, Vegas. I don't know if Daniels is going to play. I prefer Bean. I see Devin Neal. I see Maya Villa from Vegas. This is over. Over under here, 64. Bet your house on the over in this game. Fucking Kansas is going to be 50. Vegas is going to be, this is going to be 80 some points, and we got 64 down to 58. Yeah. See, Maya Villa, these Vegas quarterbacks they play, they probably get more money at in the casinos. Virginia Tech and Tulane. Pratt for Tulane I've heard of. Virginia Tech I have not heard of. Chiron Drones. Drones completed 10 of 22 passes for 200 yards during Saturday's victory over Virginia. So who the fuck's their starter? Oh, he played 5 games at Baylor. And then did he play this year? 153 out of 2. Maybe he is their starter. 15 touchdowns and 3. Well, I guess he is. I didn't think he was, but okay. Where are we? Okay, Virginia Tech. So we got their quarterbacks. Virginia Tech 7.5, 46.5. E-team Virginia Tech, they give up 24. Tulane is a very strong B team. Give up 19 in their conference championship game. I think they killed V-Tech. Where are they? Or not Tulane. SMU beat them 24-16. SMU, very good team, much better than V-Tech. I think Tulane's a live dog here. V-Tech's a 24 defense. Tulane's a 19. But they were playing SMU with like a 17 defense. So give them credit. Give SMU credit. V-Tech, I think Tulane gives them a game. I think they're a live dog here. Over or under? Hard to go over with Tulane with the 19 defense. So I'll leave it to Tulane and 13.5. North Carolina, our favorite quarterback, is pushing out. May is sitting out the game. I love it. May is out. But Green, the West Virginia quarterback, is playing. West Virginia, 6.5, 55. You can't go over because who the fuck is this new quarterback, Harrell? West Virginia all the way here. West Virginia laying 5.5 to North Carolina without a quarterback. See, what I don't like is you're with the team all year, and now you get to the bowl game, which should be a good game, and you pussy out and you can't play. Connor Harrell, 23 stats, 71 yards, 1 touchdown, and ran for 50. I don't know. Harrell won the backup job. The backup job. He's the clear cut. So you got the backup for North Carolina against some stud for West Virginia. Go West Virginia. Lay the 5.5. Bobby's favorite, Louisville. Jake Plummer against, get this, Bobby, Miller Moss is going to quarterback USC. Has Miller touched the ball ever? Let's see. He's in 3 games. He's 23 of 32, 300 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. Poor Miller. So you go from Caleb to Miller Moss, and USC's playing Louisville. Oh God, we gotta love Louisville. Man, my green pen's working overtime here. See, when you first look at these games, you don't see anything, and then you got to wait for the players. Then when you see Miller Moss come in, it's okay. How much can I bet on Louisville with Miller Moss? Are you fucking kidding me? Wow, Miller Moss over under 58. What are you going to do with this game? You can only bet it under, but USC's defense is a 35. This is all Louisville because it turns USC from an over team to a Z team, basically. We'll call them a W team. No offense, no defense. Louisville with a strong defense and a strong offense, coming off the loss to Florida State where they didn't look too bad. Go Louisville. They're going to kill USC. I love this one. A&M against Oak State. Jay Henderson for quarterback for A&M. Who the fuck is this? Jalen Henderson, 23 stats, 704 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks, ran 104 yards for 2. He had a good game against you, Bobby. Henderson was 25 of 35 for 294 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception during Saturday's 42-30 defeat against LSU. So they put up 30 points on you, Bobby. He has tossed 6 touchdowns and 3 counts. He also rushed for 2 more. And I'm following the firing of Coach Jimbo Fisher, but the Aggies may want to try to keep Henderson at quarterback. So he's not too bad. We got Oak State. Come on. Bowman's starting for Oak State. Ollie Gordon, more importantly, the running back with 1,600 yards, is playing. A&M is 2-point favorites. Over under of 53. After seeing that this third-string quarterback played against LSU, this is turning into an over 53. Because Oak State gives up 29. Maybe Oak State's a good live dog, too. So you probably can take them +8, or you go over 47. Jesus Christ. So let's say this quarterback puts up 20, and then you got Ollie Gordon putting up 30. Give him 4 touchdowns. I give him 3 touchdowns in the game. Bowman, yeah. Oh, yeah. This guy should be the first running back taken if he comes. I don't even know if he comes. What is he? What is he? I don't know if he'll be in the draft. But he's the best running back. Okay. All right, so we got to love the over in the game anyway. A&M with the 21 defense. Oak State 29. So A&M should score, and Oak State definitely will score with Gordon. SMU, BC. SMU Stones out. Jennings, I think, is their normal backup. Maybe not. He started against Tulane and they won, so that's enough for me. So he wouldn't be, if Stone was healthy, Stone would be the quarterback, but he broke his leg. So we've got basically the backup for SMU, who beat Tulane, so I'll give him credit, and the normal quarterback for BC, Castellanos. Where's that? SMU 10.5, 51. SMU, a very strong team, a strong A team with a 17 defense, beat Tulane. Enough said there. BC over team, 30 defense. Look for SMU to beat the hell out of them. Over under a 50. I'm looking at the under in the game. I think SMU just dominates. Much the better team here. Rutgers and Miami of Florida. Wimstad against Jay Brown for Miami. Van Dyke's long gone. Brown started in place of the injured Van Dyke, struggling to get much offense going. Brown has completed less than half of his 13 attempts. Oh, my God. So it is unclear if Van Dyke will return for Saturday's game against Pitt. Well, see, what kind of analysis is this? This guy is absolutely a nothing against Rutgers. 1.5 and 41. You got to go under. I mean, you got nothing. Miami's going to run the ball. They got a 22 defense. Rutgers going to run the ball. The 21 defense. Their quarterback sucks. Wimstad, he's so bad he can't even transfer. They're all like, no, you can't get in the transfer portal. You're too bad. He sucks. A lot of interceptions. They can run the ball, and they can. Miami can definitely run the ball. Two good defenses. 41. This is an under 47. Although, how's Miami going to score with Jim Brown as their quarterback? NC State, Kansas State. Armstrong for NC State's their normal quarterback. A. Johnson is not Kansas State. Will Howard is. So Kansas State's fucking around. New quarterback. Avery Johnson threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he ran for 217. So we got one of these option type of quarterbacks. 23 of 35 for 301 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Rushing 44 attempts, Jesus, for 217. 6 touchdowns. So you got, just like Howard, a option quarterback. Maybe he's not as good of a thrower against Armstrong, who's pretty strong. And they're an E team with a 20 defense. K-State's an A team, but drops down to an E team now. They're certainly not going to score the 40 points a game with Howard. And a 21. Over under 47. NC State with the 20. Yeah, I think this is under. K-State's got a strong defense, but they don't have a quarterback anymore. So they're going to run the ball, the little option with the quarterback, do what they do. NC State, pretty good defense too. So, yeah, this is probably more of an under. Arizona and Oklahoma. Noah Fatia, the Arizona quarterback's outstanding. He's not their starter. He's their backup, but he lit it up, played most of the year. It's very good. Against Jay Arnold for Oklahoma. What the fuck's Gabriel doing? Jackson Arnold. 202 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he ran 78 yards and 1 touchdown. Played in 5 games. Arnold was forced to burn a red shirt after Gabriel left with an upper body versus BYU. The true freshman played the majority of the second half, and basically he did nothing. In 5 games, he's 18 of 24 for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he ran 20 times for 78 yards. Oklahoma's in big fucking trouble here. Arizona's 362.5, and that's what I got. 2.5, 63. This has got to be an under. This is a strong fucking under game because you've got nothing at Oklahoma. You don't have a quarterback, which takes away all the receivers. This makes it more of a running. They do have a 22 defense. Arizona is a very strong defensive team. They held USC to 28 in regulation in their game, and they killed Washington State 44-6. I think Arizona wins, and I think it's a low-scoring win. They're not going to get anywhere near 63. Clemson and Kentucky, Kubnik against Leary. These are the normals. Shipley's playing. So this looks like a normal game. Maybe Uglia Buglia will go back to Clemson. Clemson 547. This is actually a right line. Clemson's a B team with a 20 defense. Kentucky's an E team. So it's a 25 offense, 25 defense. They did beat Louisville, so they have a good running back. Leary's okay as a quarterback. Who knows with Clemson? You never know what you get from them. So I wouldn't take Clemson even. Maybe I go over 41. I have no idea here. Oregon State and Notre Dame. You know Hartman. He ain't playing in this one. Steve Angeli. Steve Angeli. And you got Uglia Buglia and Chile are both out for Oregon State. Gobranson, who I think played not this year but last year, he wasn't too bad. Notre Dame, Estamine is playing. Oregon State's quarterback, running back, 1,500-yard rusher. Martinez is O. What is O? Out, maybe? That must mean out. They don't normally show the O. They either say he's questionable or he's doubtful. And if he's out, they show the other running back. I assume he's out. I thought he was out. Notre Dame 6.5, 43. How the fuck does Notre Dame win this game by 6.5? With what? You don't have Hartman. 43. Go under. Don't even. They got a 21 defense in Oregon State and a 16 defense in Notre Dame and no quarterbacks. You figure it out, okay? Miller Moss, the real M&M. Yep, he's a superstar. He's at USC. He'll be the next Caleb. If A&M is even half of a real team, they should beat Oak State 8. Oak's 8, but not sure if I like Oak State with Ollie Gordon. I think it's an over game because the A&M quarterback seems to be good, and Ollie Gordon can get you 5 touchdowns if he breaks the line of scrimmage. So I like the game over. By the way, here eating some salmon. Very good, Bobby Bo. Yeah, these backup quarterback names are getting hilarious. Worse than hilariously worse. Steve Angeli for Notre Dame, Bobby. Come on. In for Hartman. That's why he's not the starter. He doesn't have a good name. Angeli. Hartman, yeah, that's a better name. What are you going to do with this crap? I mean, this is under city. And this is the thing. The defensive players play. And even if one of the defensive players sits out, it doesn't matter because they rotate. So this is what they have. These guys go under. Memphis, Iowa State. We have the starters. Hennigan against Rocco Beck. Iowa State 8.5, 57.5. That is exactly what I have. I like Iowa State here. Strong defense, 22 defense. Memphis is an over team with a 29. I think this game goes over. Iowa State's been scoring more with Rocco Breck, 22 defense. I like Iowa State minus 2.5 also. All right, Bobby, here's your big game. Missouri, Brady Cook, All-American against Devin Brown. Who? Now, Henderson's playing in the game. Marvin Harrison's playing in the game, but not the quarterback. They got Devin fucking Brown. That's why Missouri's favored by 2.5, over under 49. I think I like the game under because Ohio State's got a 10 defense and Missouri's got a 22. Ohio State doesn't have a quarterback, and Brady Cook's very good. So I definitely like Missouri here, and I think I got to go under because I mean Ohio State's defense should be playing. They held Notre Dame to 14 or 17. I don't. Well, that's what the McCord point. Who's going to take McCord? What team is that stupid to take McCord in the transfer portal? What, Michigan State maybe? Ole Miss, Penn State, Jackson Dart against Drew Allard. That is the real quarterbacks. Penn State 3.5, 48.5. That's what I got. Ole Miss is a B team with a 22 defense, and Penn State's an A team with an 11, except they're not an A team when they played Michigan, Ohio State. Then they turn into a Z team. Well, Penn State came to play in the Rose Bowl last year, and they took Rising out. 3.5, I don't know. Ole Miss can score. Penn State can score. They got an 11 defense. I got to do more thinking on this one. I'm not sure. Jackson Dart wants to run, so I think they get 43 with these quarterbacks. I think they should get there. Auburn against Maryland. Peyton Thorne against Tagliavua Jr. That is right. Maryland 2 and Auburn's favored 2.5 and 49. Both teams are B teams, 22, 23 defense, but I don't think Maryland's got a 23 defense. Again, the Big Ten's so warped that they look better than they are. Auburn played that game against Alabama. I think this is an under because I think they'll harass if they were able to harass Milrose for Alabama. I think they can harass Tagliavua much easier. And I wish Auburn was the dog. I could take them. But I think they'll play well. They played well against Alabama, so could be good. Georgia, Florida State, Buck, yep. Moulton, yep. McConkey, yep. Brock Bowers, yep. Against Roadmaker, who's questionable with the concussion for Florida State. Georgia 14-44. All right, this is a gold game, Bobby. Go under 50. You got to be kidding me. Florida State's defense. Georgia's not scoring a whole lot. Good luck scoring on Georgia's defense with Rodemaker. I don't think Florida State scores unless it's a pick six. Georgia will pound it down their throats, and I think you're going to see, 20-3 Georgia or something. They'll win, but Florida State, how are they going to score on this team? They both have 16 defenses. So Georgia's defense is getting worse. When they were really good, they were like a 10 defense or a 9 defense. I mean, it was embarrassing. They give up 6 points a game. You're like, how the fuck are we going to get a first down on this team? So this is the under of life. Toledo, Wyoming. Jackie Gleason for Toledo is not their starter. Toledo, where's Toledo? Here we go. Yet another quarterback going to transfer portal against Peasley. Yes, he is their regular quarterback. Wyoming is 344.5. Makes sense. Toledo is an A team, but they did lose to Miami of Ohio, and Wyoming's pretty good. 20 defense against 22. I think this is an under. You got nothing with Toledo, Gleason, and then you've got Wyoming, who doesn't score much anyway. Peasley is their regular quarterback. Bobby Bowe. Danny DeVito still takes the cake with the name, though. Yeah, he's the best one. I agree, Professor McCord sucks. Ohio State offense was the weakest it's been in years. Yeah, exactly. Jackie Gleason, what's this? The Honeymooners? Yeah, well, that's he's playing college football now. Okay, Wisconsin LSU. Mordecai is back in the scene against Daniels. At this point, Daniels is playing. LSU is 8.5. And 55, which leads you to believe Daniels isn't playing. It's gone from 10 to 9.5 to 8.5. If he is playing, this is 55, this will be a lock over because Alabama couldn't handle him. Wisconsin's going to just watch him run by. But is he going to play? I don't know. Maybe Joe Burrow will go back. He's already hurt. He's not playing on Sundays. 55. Otherwise, Wisconsin, a 19 defense. LSU's a 28. So it's clearly an under team Wisconsin against an over team LSU. But they got to have Daniels. I don't know, Bobby. You think he's going to play? I think he should. I don't buy this bullshit sitting out, but I don't know. What are you going to do? The Rock would play if it was up to him and he was there. I saw The Rock. What did I see him do? I don't know. I was watching some wrestling thing and he comes out, or no, it was a movie or something. And he should have laid the people's elbow on the person, and I don't think he did. I don't know. Maybe it was a movie. I don't recall. Between the movies and the wrestling I've been watching, I know I saw The Rock out of character, and he didn't lay the smackdown on anybody. So we'll have to wait on Daniels. They were minus 10. Yeah, well, they're minus 8.5 now. 9, maybe 9. Yeah, LSU should not be giving that many points with that defense. This Blessy does play. Well, that's the thing. If he plays, they'll blow him out. Wisconsin can't keep up with them. And their defense, as good as it might be, is not the normal Wisconsin defense. But what are you going to do with Daniels? He'll run circles around these guys. Alabama couldn't stop him. There's no way Wisconsin's stopping him if Alabama couldn't. All right, Liberty against Oregon. Liberty's a very strong over team. Salter, their starter, is playing. He's got like 35 touchdowns and 5 picks. This guy's good. Bo Nix is playing. Bucking Irving, the running back, is doubtful. I don't know if he's injured or not. Otherwise, it's everybody going. Now, I'm confused. Oregon, their line went from 15 to 17.5, which means Bo Nix is playing in a 65. Now, the confusion here is Oregon's defense. They shut Colorado down to nothing. They shut a few teams with good offenses down to nothing. USC got 20 on them. So you've got to be careful because Oregon is really an A team. They got a fucking 17 defense, but they come and play. Liberty's very explosive. The Salter's a very good quarterback, but not here against Oregon. What does Oregon do? This should be a playoff game. Oregon against Ohio State with Georgia, Florida State. The two winners play the winners of the Michigan game and the Washington. That's what they should have done this year. Should have had those 8 in it. How do you have a playoff without Georgia, without Florida State, without Oregon? It's fucking ridiculous. It's too stupid. It's too stupid. You could have had 8 in the playoff, and it's all set, and you win these, and now you're down to 4. And then nobody gets fucked. And Georgia blows out Florida State. See, that's where the quarterback would have hurt Florida State is against Georgia. Okay, then they lose. Okay, but they get in the game. So if Lamar gets hurt again and they're in the playoffs, what do they not let Baltimore in the playoffs because Lamar's hurt again? I mean, come on. So everybody's on board for Oregon except for Bucky Irving. This should be a 100-point game, but you got to be careful with Oregon defense. And how serious are they? And Liberty's going to want to show that they're good, and they are explosive as fuck. Liberty. They score upper 30s. Iowa, Tennessee. You actually have the quarterbacks, Deacon Hill against Joe Milton. Tennessee laying 8 and 36. A big number for Iowa in a game, 36. I think you got to play it under. I think Iowa will not score. They'll lose 22-0. I think I like Tennessee -1, but I like the under 42. It's the first time we're over 30 in an under game with Iowa in 2 months. It's been 28, 30, 31. Here we get a 36, which is kind of surprising. The Michigan game was 28. Why are they 36 on this game? It doesn't make sense. But we'll go under. If they want to give us money, we'll take it. That's another bet I got to put in. Jesus Christ. My pen, it's going to go dry finding all these games. Okay. Next, Alabama against Michigan. Milrose against McCarthy. Corin playing. McKellen, the running back's questionable, but I guarantee you he's playing. Michigan 1.5, 45. Free pick. Take Bama as a dog in any game. Even if they were playing the 49ers, I would be tempted to take Alabama or Georgia as dogs. Why is Alabama the dog here? Alabama should be a 4-point favorite, and we get them +7.5. Thank you, God. This is unbelievable. This is like silver, 25 an ounce. This is like the sale of the century. Getting silver 25, getting Alabama as a dog. So take all your gold and silver, bet it on Alabama, and then take that and buy more gold and silver with it. I got a nice gold story for you, Bobby, as soon as we're done here. And last but not least, Texas, Washington. Urs against Penix. That is normal. Texas 4-64. I think I got to go with Washington, and I got to go over. Because they beat Oregon twice, and there's no way Texas is better than Oregon. In a big game, they come to play. Penix comes to play. I love their coach. If I was a pro team like the Giants, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, I'd be taking this Washington coach. This guy's a great coach. Comes in with a good system. Penix sucked. He had one good year at Indiana. Then he looked like shit. I remember we bet him a few games, and he didn't show up. And we were like, fuck this guy. And he transfers to Washington. He was pretty good last year, really good this year. I don't know. I'd still rather have Bo Nix. But then I remember the Auburn game, so I'm not sure about that. Or when he was on Auburn. And then Caleb, I don't know. So if I was the Lions, I would trade Goff to the 1 seed, which is going to be what? Carolina. Well, they don't need what's Carolina going to do? They're the 1 seed. They have Steve Young, and they could have Caleb or Nix or Penix. What are they going to do? I mean, those 3 quarterbacks are 20 times better than Young, but yet they're stuck with Young. They can't take Caleb. They are stuck with Young. This is the idiocy of the GMs. They're so fucking stupid. They can't measure skill set, so they don't realize Caleb's way better than Young. But Young played at Alabama, so he must be good. Yeah. So did Mac Jones, and so did Hurts, and they both looked like shit last week. Or Hurts looked pretty bad, didn't he, against Dallas? Couldn't complete a pass. Their touchdown was the Georgia guy, the defensive tackle running it in. So I don't, Hurts isn't, and then Tag didn't show. Where was he Monday night? They needed to ice the game, and Henry scored 2 touchdowns to win. That's how good Tag is. So he looks nice. He throws a nice pass, but he can't read a fucking blitz, and he can't kill a game. If it was Brady with 4 minutes left, Tennessee never would have touched the ball. They would have won by 13. But we got Tag, and whoops. Oh, I lost the game. Wait till I go to Buffalo and we lose 48-3 because I can't handle pressure. Yeah, I think Washington comes well. They came ready against Oregon. They will come ready against Texas. I love the game over. I honestly think Nix is just a system quarterback. Oregon. Well, no. You can't say that here. This is not a system. This is a whole new coach. Well, yeah. This coach has only been there 2 years. This is not Herbert, and this is not Mariota. This is a different animal. No, he's looked really good the last 2. He didn't look bad against Washington. He's not the reason they lost. No, I don't buy that, Bobby. I think Nix is really good. Herbert was the only good quarterback, but unfortunately, he's on he's not on a cursed franchise. He's on an idiot franchise that you're in San Diego. You're a monopoly there. You would move to LA, and then you're there with the Rams. All your fans are still in San Diego, so you could be in this big stadium. That means nothing. There's no home court advantage. You got a coach that's a fucking idiot. Why don't they take the Washington coach? San Diego, you watch. If San Diego got the Washington coach, it's just like Denver getting my guy, Sean Payton, right? Sean Payton goes to Denver. Look at them. They're going to win the division. And here you got this guy, Gabor from Fresno State, goes to Washington, lights it up. If I'm San Diego, that I bring him over. That's why it's a no-brainer, right? And then you got Coach Pete, and you got this guy, McVay. Okay, he's giving McVay. I'm still not there with the San Francisco coach. I think he's an idiot. He doesn't know how to win a game. He doesn't know how to end the game in a big game, right? He can't. He wants to keep throwing the ball when he needs to run and be able to run for a first down. But yeah, Herbert, I like Herbert, really, but he's on the team with the stupidest coach in the world. And how do you win 4 games with that talent? You got Posa and Khalil Mack and the guy from Florida State, the safety, and Keenan Allen and Eckert and Kelly, the running backs, and Herbert. How do you fucking not win 10 games? The Lions are winning 9 games. How are they? They win 9 and you can't win 9? And you got 5 times more talent than them? I mean, Jesus, that makes no sense. So, all right, you're going to love this news. Are we done with football? The playoff game last year against the Jags was the worst loss, too. You had them 27-0 blitzing them, and you decided not to blitz them in the second half. Yeah, I'd say that. And they fired the defensive coach like it was his fault. Yeah, they'll fire him. But no, I don't think Bo Nix is a system. I think Ohio State and Alabama are system quarterbacks. That's why none of them do anything in the pros. I think USC's a system, or Oklahoma was a system. Kyler Murray's okay. Mayfield really not good anymore. Hurts wants to run, really not good. And now maybe Caleb is actually a good quarterback. I hope he's good and not just another system guy from Oklahoma. Well, especially the Trevor Lawrence, who sucks. That's what it's a shake my head moment. What are you doing? Okay. So you had to be happy yesterday, Bobby. Gold was up $50 yesterday. Now it's back to 2036. Keep in mind, this is paper bullshit. Silver 24, paper bullshit. But it went down into the 1970s for a day. And now it's back to 2036, which is good. Now I'm going to show you. So, yeah, I think a little bit. No, I don't. I think Bo Nix is because he's played in the big against Washington. That wasn't a system. He looked really good against Washington. You can't go 19 out of 20 and say it's a system. All right. Here's what you got. Panel urging Japan to prep for digital yen that coincides with cash. So it's not like you're getting rid of cash, but they're nowhere near it. Japan should make preparations to issue digital yen without delay and treat it as legal tender that would coexist with cash. So they're not getting rid of cash. This is just, there's Bitcoin now, which we can choose or not, and digital. It's still, but it's a 9-member panel under the finance minister said any central bank digital currency should be usable by anyone, anytime, and anywhere. Currently, Japan does not have specific plans to introduce a digital yen. They're talking about it, but they don't have any plans for it. The Bank of Japan has launched a pilot program to study the feasibility. They don't even know if it'll work. They're just going to study it. China has already experimented with the digital yuan. It contrasts major economies have taken a more cautious stance about it, so nobody's doing digital. The European Central Bank has begun a 2-year preparation phase, but is yet to decide whether to issue a digital euro. The U.S. Federal Reserve has also not decided on issuing its CBDC, though it is examining. So they're just dicking around with it. They're going, well, maybe we'll do CBDC, and then they're like, they're not even close to it. The basic stance should be that CBDCs will complement rather than replace cash. End of story. So everybody's so fucking worried about CBDCs. They're going to monitor us. We can't go take a piss and they're going to know where we are. It will complement rather than replace cash. That's the bottom line because Stone Cold's telling you that. The latest report by the panel on CBDC said, calling for closer coordination between government and the Bank of Japan. So this is to complement, not replace cash. So stop fucking worrying. When I told you that a year ago, it won't happen. You're still crying about it. Oh, digital currency. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It can't happen. They're fucked. They need gold, and that's all they can do. So that was your little Japan today. I'm all over the world. Now, let's get to the nitty gritty. I get my oil changed today. That's why I was a little late at my Toyota dealer. So they give it to me free. I need brakes. So I called my brake guy, which I'm waiting to hear from him. I think I'll text him. And So I have a Russian mechanic who's actually honest. So I went to Toyota for my oil change, and they said your brakes are just about done. For only $600, you can get them done at the dealership. And I'm like, that was just for the fronts. And then they're saying you need the rotors, which I kind of question if I really need the rotors. The dealership will tell you anything, but I don't know that I need it, or maybe I can get away without them. So my guy's a Russian mechanic I got from my Russian friend here who moved to Florida. So I go to his garage, so it's a lot cheaper. So, and I trust him. So hopefully I can get in tomorrow or Monday or something. Your car's in the shop. No, well, I get the oil change for free. I give him the football picks. And the finance manager, I give him football picks. He gives me a free oil change. And who knows what it costs at a dealership for an oil change. But then I go talk economics with the sales manager and the finance manager, and they are dying. When I come in, they come to me. I'm the man. I'm stoic at that point. So my finance manager wasn't there, but in the notes, it's when Howard comes in, give him a free oil change. So in the inspection, they said I needed front and back brake pads and rotors. I'm not sure about the rotors. We'll see. The car's not really making noises, and it's only got 60,000 miles. So I'm probably due for brakes, which I thought so, but not $600. That's $1,200 for all the brakes. It's like you got to. I'm expecting 300, not 1,200. So this guy should be reasonable brakes if I can get in. So I talked to the sales manager. Now, this kind of pissed me off. I told him I have all my money out of the bank in the gold and silver. He tells his wife, the wife thinks he's crazy. Then he's got a buddy who runs a company, like a tool and die shop. He emptied his bank accounts and he's in gold and silver. So the wife talks to him, and now the wife wants to get into gold. And I looked at him like, so when I fucking tell you to do it, you don't listen to me. But because this guy did it, who's not an economist, now you start listening to him, but you don't, but you insult me by doing it. And that's what pisses me off is if I'm telling you to do it and I did it, but you don't know me, so I'm an idiot, I guess. This is where I really have a problem. So now he's all in the gold, and I'm looking at him like, you motherfucker, look, if I'm telling you to buy gold, that should be enough. You shouldn't have to do that. So all of a sudden the wife heard it from the guy, their friend, and now so all he does every day when he gets paid doing whatever his auto type of business is, he goes to the bank and he buys gold and silver with it. So he's got all his money in gold and silver. When he needs to do payroll, he takes the gold to cover the payroll. And that's what he's doing. Really not too smart because the gold, I told him, is going up. You don't really want to trade your gold in for that. You want to keep some money to do it at like I'm doing it, right? I have money out, so I don't have to sell my gold at 2,000. So his guy is wrong, and he's correct in getting out of dollars into gold, but he's not correct in leaving a few dollars out. He should leave a month's worth of payroll out because you don't want to be cashing in $2,000 gold for 2,000 when it's worth 20. He says, how do you know it's worth 20? I says, because it's all paper right now. The paper price is 2, but Orioles went from 250 to 5, but gold didn't go up. I says, you got to be, I mean, it's at least 20,000 because I'm pricing it in physical, not paper. And I'm not an idiot, and I know what the fuck's going on. And I know when the inflation is happening and the price of gold and silver is not going up, when it should be that the price should be at least 10 times more because of all the food. And he even said, yeah, I used to go and it would cost me, $1,000 for food for the month is now costing me $1,500. Yeah. And so I said, yeah, inflation's about 20%, but it doesn't matter. It's zero. The dollar's worth zero. So here's his friend who takes at the end of the day, all the money buys gold with it. So now because he does it, now he's starting to understand. And he says, well, I don't even know what Bitcoin is. I go, it's for the mafia. It's for the Russian mafia and oligarchs to launder their money. That's all Bitcoin is. So I don't know why you want to hold it. What good is it? The internet goes down, you're fucked. Nobody takes it. If I tried to give you Bitcoin, Bobby, you're not going to take it because you don't have a Bitcoin account. And what do you do with it? You're going to, well, the banks aren't going to take it. I don't know. I have no idea what good Bitcoin is. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it gets its value. And what does that sound like? Oh, it sounds like Madoff's Ponzi scheme. Bernie, how do you make me 15% a month? Don't ask. Right? What did we hear from that? Don't ask. Don't ask how I make it, or you can't be in the fund. Just know you're going to get 15% every month, into your account. But don't ask how you do it. Oh, what's Bitcoin? Don't ask where the price comes from because nobody can answer it. Oh, it'll go up to 60,000. Why? Well, because nobody can answer it. Nobody can answer anything. I can tell you why gold's going up, because the dollar's being printed to zero and the only money left is gold. And you got all these countries getting the fuck out of dollars into gold. They're only going to have one choice, gold. They can go into Bitcoin if they want, but what's that going to do for them? So the real banks and everybody, the real players are all in gold and silver. That's because the dollar's going out. I can tell you why gold's going up. I can't tell you why Bitcoin. I wish it was something, but it's nothing. It's nothing about Bitcoin. That's reality. It's Madoff. It's all a Ponzi scheme. So if you want to get into a Ponzi scheme, you're already in the dollar. You're already in one here. This is the Ponzi scheme. We're all in because this is worthless, and they try to tell you it's not. Oh no, this is $1. This is $5. This is worth €5. This is money. No, it's not worth anything. This is the problem with it. Luke, you were celebrating because the gold price went up $50. The paper gold price, back to 2040. So it's up to 2036. It was 1970 the other day. It went up $50, I think, yesterday. So that's what Bobby's meaning. Although you shouldn't watch the paper. So anyway, so all of a sudden it's starting to come where people are recognizing gold and silver. Like this guy at Toyota, his friend is buying it. Now he is out of Bitcoin. All he bought was silver. So one of the salesmen's listening in because he hears me talking and it's about gold. He gets all excited. And he says, what should I buy, gold or silver? I go, well, I don't know. It depends on how much money, because I'm dealing with the lifeguards who don't have money, and I tell them to buy a $25 ounce of silver. I says, you certainly can afford 2 or 3 ounces. So he says, I got 100 grand. And I says, buy 75,000 worth of gold and 25,000 worth of silver. Because if you're traveling to Switzerland to meet Egon or somewhere in Europe, it's much easier to have 10 or 15 gold ounces in your pocket than it is a whole fucking box of silver. I said, so depends on your point and everything. I would buy more gold than silver. Yeah, but it's all ending, Luke. It's all going to be good news soon. Looking like the silver gold miners are also about to break upward. I'm kind of regretting putting so much in the physical. The percent upswing will be 3 to 10 times than the physical. Based on what, Luke? Are you pulling that number out of the air, 3 to 10% times? I think you are, because when the market crashes, all the stocks crash. Newmont Mining will crash when they start selling the stocks, but because your COMEX and the Russians and Chinese are dealing in physical gold and silver, that's protected, but your stock isn't. And you can still sell the gold and buy the stock when it bottoms out, but it ain't bottomed out yet. They're still controlling it. So you don't want to be in gold and silver stocks, but you're in the gold coins. You're fine. I don't know what you're worried about. You're going to make more in the stocks. I'm not convinced you are. And guess how do they value stocks? Oh yeah, they're valued in money. Oh yeah, the money's going to zero. So what happens to the gold stock? It goes to zero. Remember that. You want to be in gold, not in paper. So even if it goes, Newmont Mining, where's it at? $30, $40 a share. So it goes to $80. So what is that? When the dollar's zero, you've got zero in your stocks. But in gold, you don't need gold valued in dollars. Gold will be valued in gold, and then you're way ahead. So look at it like that. Look at the stocks going to zero because the dollar's going to zero. Everybody forgets that the dollar's going to zero. They just keep assuming that everything will be fine, and it won't be. It'll be transferred. The dollar will go out into a new dollar, which will be worthless if it's not backed by gold, and then it'll finally be backed by gold, and then you'll have a whole new price list, and your gold will go up 100 times because now things are priced in gold. It's the only way the dollar can actually survive. It's got to be backed by gold. They can't come out with a new fiat dollar that's worthless, that's not backed by anything. What good is that? So they can't do that. So you gotta you know, well, you're just throwing numbers out, Luke. Maybe 1,000 times. It's like Bitcoin. Well, it's going to go up to 60,000. Why? Maybe just because it's a good round number. I mean, I don't really know. I'm slipped like 25% gold, 25% silver, 25% and 25% other, including Bitcoin. Is that what you want to be in? 25% miners, 25% other, including Bitcoin? What is other? Is that like baseball cards and Rolexes and paintings and stuff like that? So assets, that's what you're in. I thought you got rid of the miners. Okay. I mean, I don't get your point on the miners. On the stocks, because gold has to go up, so your coins will go up. The stock's not going up right now. They're not letting the coins go up. So nobody's buying gold. Nobody understands it or likes it except for people who understand what it is. So if they're buying stock, they're buying Apple and Amazon and Microsoft. They're not buying Newmont Mining and those stocks. So I just assume, look, I was in gold stocks for a while. I haven't touched them in years. I am now in physical gold and silver. That's it. I even sold most of my jewelry except for my master's necklace, which I'll never sell. But I really would not have 25% in miners. And I certainly wouldn't have anything in Bitcoin. I don't know what the 25% other is. Now, I guess this is my 25% other. Is this and my Montana rookie and my Rice rookie and my Mantle card, my Ore card. That's just separate. That's like I've got my money in gold and silver. I got a little bit of money. And oh, by the way, I got these baseball and football cards, which to me, I don't even pay attention to. I know I have them. I know they're worth a lot, and they'll go to my friends, but I don't really even pay attention to them. I know I have them, but if I don't need it, I'm not selling them now. I'm waiting till everything's in gold. They're leveraged to the price. I don't know what that means. No, that's not what I'm in. 401k that I can't cash, etc. So your other is the 401k. Why can't you cash it? Why can't you sell it? I don't understand. At least I'd put the 401k in gold or gold stocks if you can, which you should be able to. Yeah, I would use all my cash. When silver was up yesterday, miners were 3 to 5 times. Well, you can't look at one day, and I don't know what that means. So what are you looking at? Give me an example. You got a silver stock selling at 20. Was that 60? Or are you talking about these penny stocks that were at $1.50 went up to $3? So I'm not watching the stocks now because I have no interest. All my money is going into the coins. The coins are where you want to be. You cannot, because you know why? You're buying a $2,000 ounce silver coin for $25. Now, if you think your silver stock that's worth, what are you talking, $3, $5? If you think that's worth $2,000, then I agree with you. But I don't think that it is worth $2,000, although I do believe the silver coin, the silver ounce is 2,000, the gold ounce is 20,000. That's the real physical prices of it once the dust settles and Russia and China say enough's enough. We're coming out they're coming out to compete, not to get the U.S. out of it. But by putting it out and saying, look, we're just competing with the dollar. We're not trying to destroy it. It will destroy it because who in their right mind would want dollars when they can do it? And another story that the salesman at Toyota told me was they have a girl in the office goes to Africa, and she's gone 4 or 5 years in a row, and she goes to Africa, and she changes American money in for African money, and no problem. This year she went, she takes out American money. They don't want the U.S. money. I don't know if it was Zimbabwe or which African country. They didn't even want it. When I was in Germany, what should have been 105 for my dollar was 125. They are charging 25% for U.S. dollars. That's a big shot. They don't want it either. So the euro's going to come out with gold back euro, just like Russia and China are coming out with gold back. And that's coming. That's coming a lot faster than CBDCs and Bitcoin. So, I'll challenge you on Bitcoin. If you can come up with a reason for the price or what it is, I can tell you it's not money because it's not accepted. And nobody really knows what it is. So I'm going to challenge you there. So if you can say Bitcoin's going to whatever, I don't know what it's at. No, I don't. Let's see. Bitcoin is at. Let's see, gold price. Sometimes if I switch it, it goes to Bitcoin. 2036. If we do crypto, Bitcoin price. The Bitcoin price is 43,086. And how did it get there? Nobody knows. So let's see, Bitcoin chart. It's gone up. It was 38,000 in December. 37 in November, then 38, and then it shot up from 38 to 44 mid-December, and now it's dropping back down to 41 and 43. Again, nobody knows why or what, and where does it go from here? Nobody knows. There's no reason. In other words, I'm telling you why gold's going to go up because the dollar's going out. I can't tell you why Bitcoin goes up because I don't know what it is. It's computer program or what is it? It's basically the Russians, probably in the Chinese, laundering their money. It's a Madoff. So Madoff was up there too, wasn't he? He had what, $50 billion in people's money. Was that what it was worth? You want to fuck around with Madoff? You want to fuck around with Bitcoin? Go right ahead. Was silver up yesterday? Probably. What's the difference? It's up today. So yeah, I was up yesterday. It was up a little bit. I hate the rules of 401k, all the restrictions of being over 59 and a half and getting hit with all the penalties and tax BS. Bitcoin is around 43,000. I mean, Bobby, we even talked about that at Toyota, and the whole point of taxes is totally illegal. He did mention that somebody opted out of taxes, and it's legal because, and then this is the salesman, what we're in the United States corporation, not the Constitution. So if you get out of the U.S. corporation and get into the U.S. Constitution, there's two different books. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to even, he says his friend doesn't even have license plates on his cars, doesn't pay taxes, and doesn't have to because he has gotten rid of his Social Security card, which is totally illegal. And he's just on his own now. He says it's perfectly legal to do that. So you have to read about U.S. corporation, which is totally ridiculous. The Social Security card is totally illegal. The fact that we pay into Social Security and get out is totally ridiculous, and taxes are totally ridiculous. And the tax came in 1913 when the central bank came. That's all communist. That is the income tax is bullshit. It's why are we being taxed at all? So the government can steal from us? I mean, that's all it is. It's not, we shouldn't be taxed. The government should not be this big. The government should be very small to represent us, not to steal from us. And that's what it does. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin, okay, where's it going from here? Does anybody have a clue? Oh, it's going to where? 50? Based on what? It's going to 30? Based on what? I'm not saying it's going to go up or down. I'm saying you have no idea. It is not related to inflation. It is not related to dollars going out. As Bobby's showing us, it's $43,000. What's the price when dollars go to zero? What is Bitcoin worth? Zero. Gold, on the other hand, is not made to be priced in dollars. It can be priced in gold. It's the purchasing power of gold. I've been reading my notes. So I'm trying to, there was a thing I was reading on the gold standard. And after World War II, I believe, after all these countries, where did it fucking go? Must be here. Hold on. Very interesting reading. Okay. So this is dated, it's not dated, 6/2/93, June 2nd, 1993. Fascinating. World War II, Japan, Manchuria, from 1938 to 1945. Stimson, the Secretary of State's a warmonger. Does that sound familiar? Japan went to war due to the oil embargo. Tom Hagen told us that in The Godfather. Hitler, a socialist, took Austria, Czech, Poland with Russia. After World War II, the world economies and the leaders were old men. Japan, where farmers had too much money and no army, the leader, Shiroguru, prime minister, went to Austrian economics. They were the second best economy in the world, behind us. Italy, I don't know the leader's name, Diagasperi, went to Austrian economics, second best economy also. West Germany, Andrew Hauer, the leader, Erhard, the economic leader, went to Austrian economics, third best economy. France, with de Gaulle was the leader, went to Austrian economics. Everybody was older, went to Austrian economics, and surprise, surprise, everybody went to the best economy in the world, first, second, or third. I read that last night, and I'm like, now I was listening to the idiot with MMT, and I'll find some more goodies in my notes. But the MMT guy keeps saying, well, it's because of the floating exchange rates, not the fixed exchange rates, that you can't use the gold standard. It doesn't work with the floating exchange rates. Well, I got news for you. The floating exchange rates suck. That's the problem, right? They just print. So it's basically a government can print money with these floating exchange rates and kind of, okay, to the euro, we're 95 cents. As they fuck up their economy by inflating. The problem is it's so like I'm really hungry. I'm going to have 5 chocolate cakes today. And the problem is we know you can't eat chocolate cake. It's bad for you. You can't print money. It's bad for you. That's why you have the gold standard to prevent you from inflating. But the MMT/Keynesians believe you can print and inflate. It's okay as long as you keep your FX to, Europe and Russia and China. As long as you pick it up on the FX part, that's where we're at now. This video is 10 years old. I was watching yesterday with this MMT idiot, and he kept saying, well, the gold standard doesn't work with the floating exchange rate, only a fixed exchange rate. And I'm going, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Floating exchange rates are deadly. They're the worst because you don't know the value of anything. And if you start printing and they start printing and you can just tweak it by the exchange rate, you're all fucked. That's where we are because of the stupid floating exchange rate. The whole world's going bankrupt because they kept printing and printing and printing because they don't get the first concept. If you keep printing, it goes to zero. It's simple for us, right? You keep printing, it goes to zero. That's why you have the gold standard to prevent you from printing. And you don't have FX rates. You have gold, and gold's worth gold wherever it is, anywhere in the world. Gold's worth gold. I don't understand what the guy's even saying. It's like shaking my head, Bobby. I'm like, keep talking about floating exchange rates. They're no good in the first place. So that's like saying you can have chocolate cake, but if everybody eats 2 chocolate cakes, then it's okay. No, we all got diabetes and we're waiting to die if we all have 2 chocolate cakes a day. See, he's not seeing that you don't have the chocolate cake at all. That's what the Austrians and the gold standard is about. You are limited to how much chocolate cake you can have, which is a good thing. Then, everything's good. You can't have inflation. They don't even understand what inflation is. Oh, it's prices. It's the Coca-Cola being worth more. So that's what I got out of that. And that's when I was starting to read. So I'm looking through my notes when he batters floating exchange rates versus fixed. I know he talked about it. I remember it. And I know fixed rates are where you want to go. You want to know what the dollar is worth. You don't want to keep going back. Well, in 1971, strawberries were 19 cents a pound, and now they're $3 or $4. That shows you how much the dollar's collapsed. You want strawberries to be 19 cents in 1971, 1991, 2011, 2023. You still want strawberries. You still want the same amount of dollars. You don't need more dollars. Just change the value of gold. So now gold went from $30 to $100, and now you can print more money because of increased productivity, not because of fucking printing the money. Then some kid asked him about how much money should there be or something, and I was lost there going, what do you mean how much money? It should be enough money to run the country. You can change the value of the money. You don't print more. You just $100 buys more. It's the purchasing power of what the money buys, not you don't print more money because you have more people or because you have more goods. The market controls everything, but they don't want to lose control, and they don't want to not print. So that's what they were talking about. Okay, Bobby Bo. The 401k sort of reminds me of a sportsbook bonus program where they offer you all that free play BS to then add all those BS rules, like you have to roll it over 50 times and all that shit. Yeah, you get the free play if you bet $500. Then you get a free $1,000. Yeah, I hear all bet MGM and all this shit. Well, you bet just $5 on a money line game, and if you win, you get 150 in free credit. You don't get the money. You then have to gamble the 150, and they know that if you gamble it, you'll lose, and the odds suck. If you even want to be in bet MGM, you're out of your mind. Luke, preach it, Prof. U.S. Corp established 1871. There you go. That is the danger, right? So if you want to get out of taxes, it's totally legal. You must get out of the U.S. Corp and into the Constitution, whatever that's called. I just heard that today. I knew there was a way to get out of it. I never really got into it. And that's what the U.S. Corp is: Social Security, taxes, central bank, all the evil shit in the world, all the control shit. That's exactly. So let me do a little bit of figure out what to do to get us out of taxes, out of Social Security, and everything's totally legal. And he doesn't get license plates anymore, and the cops stop him, and he shows them this form that says, I am out of the U.S. corporation and I'm into this. And they let him go. They go, yep, you're right. And so he doesn't pay taxes, and he's perfectly fine with it. So FYI, let me check that out. Being a Stoic, that's what Stoics do. We hear something like that, we then dig into it and try to learn from it. I'm a believer that if an individual wants a willing to invest bet on whatever it is with their own year-earned money, then they should be more than able to take it out whenever they feel like it. Well, you can, but you got to pay a penalty because you don't pay tax on the initial 401k. So if I put in $5,000 into a 401k, my company matches it, so it's 10 grand, and I don't pay tax on it, you can pull it, but then you got to pay a penalty in the tax. Once you hit my age, there's no penalty. You still got to pay tax on it, but there's no penalty. As far as gold and silver, I don't know what is going to be a 1099 tax and what isn't. Is it U.S.? Is it Cougaran? One of them, I don't think you have to pay tax on. The Cougarans, the Maple Leafs, I don't know that you got to pay tax on those. Only the U.S., I'm not sure. Then I've read where if you have quarter ounce, half ounce, tenth of an ounce, you don't pay tax on that, only the full ounce. Then I'm hearing it's a certain dollar amount. So in my silver, I'll sell 2,000 ounces or 8,000, and I don't pay tax because the tax is 10,000. But I have no idea at this point. It's not clear. Just like digital dollars, they're not even set up yet. They're not even going to be set up. And everybody's panicking about it. And again, it's this is what the government does. They're not leaders, they're followers. They'll put up a trial balloon, and if everybody gets pissed, they don't do it because they don't want to lose votes, because all they care about is being in power so they can get the money from the banks who run the government. So if I run for Senate and all of a sudden Wells Fargo comes to me and says, Howard, we'll put you in, but then we want favors. And I go, being stoic, I'd tell them to shove it up their ass. But if I was a regular politician, because I was an idiot and I had no skill set, I'd go, oh, really? Great. Okay, so you give me $1 million and you just tell me what you want me to vote on and I'll vote on it. And that's what government is, not for the people. So I should be representing Bobby and Luke saying we want gold-backed currency here. We don't want a 1099 on it. And that's how I would be the senator to help my constituents, not, oh, wait, Wells Fargo is going to give me $1 million to shut up about gold. I'm going to take the $1 million and I'll shut up about it. That's what they do. I mean, it's not in our best interest to have gold. We want to be able to print and print, and we're too stupid to realize that if we print and print, it'll go to zero. We don't understand that. We're an idiots. Okay. Bobby, yeah, I'm still very interested to see how we are going to be taxed on our coins when the time comes to sell. There is no time to sell, Bobby. You don't have to sell them. You can sell one. You could have 50 ounces of gold. I might sell 1 or 2 of them. That might be all I need. I'm going to go buy a house. Here's 2 ounces of gold. I don't need to sell the other gold. I got a bunch of silver. I'm going to take 15 ounces of silver and buy more gold with, 15 ounces, give me an ounce. 15 ounces, give me an ounce. And I'll build up more gold. What am I going to do with 600 ounces of silver? Besides give them out at birthday parties and weddings. It's funny. People don't like gold and silver. Try giving them an ounce and see how they, all of a sudden they go, oh, really? Yeah, okay, I guess this is all right. I don't mind when I have some, right? Luke, I don't think there's tax on U.S. minted coins. Well, they're trying to 1099 us on gold when it hits 40, 50,000 an ounce, but I'm not sure because they're legal U.S. tender. I get that, but they want to tax gold to prevent you from buying it. But yes, I agree with you, and they shouldn't be taxed at all. Luke, are shining up your kangaroos. It's all going to blow up soon, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about it. Global gold standard coming. I don't know if it'll be, I don't know how they're going to do it. I think what it'll be is Argentina, you want your own currency, fine. BRICS will come out with a gold-backed currency, and gold will go up to 25,000 an ounce. And then you got U.S. dollars, and hopefully we'll be able to exchange it for the gold-backed current BRICS. But we're not in BRICS. So that's where we need Daria to come in and fly to Russia and give her money to buy BRICS gold. That's what we're gonna need our little field agents to buy it for us. Global gold standard. I don't know though. There's going to be multiple. There's going to be the euro. So the euro countries are all coming out with a gold-backed euro. The ruble will be gold-backed. The yuan, the China will be gold-backed, and then BRICS will be gold-backed. Zimbabwe already has, they don't even have gold back. They just have gold coins. To stop the inflation, the only way you can, they printed gold coins. I've showed you that. And that's what they do. They just print the gold coins and off they go. And that's, so I'm not quite sure how it'll work. I am sure that gold will play a big role because you can't inflate it. And the amazing part is how people don't even understand what the fuck inflation is. I got to keep doing videos to explain it's the printing of the money. You inflate the supply of money. That's why it's called inflation. And that's why when you call it deflation, you are not reducing the supply of money. So what the fuck are you calling deflation? Is prices. Inflation's not prices. Deflation's not prices. So the only way you can deflate is if you print $20 trillion from 10, you've inflated the currency $10 trillion. But unless you pull back 10 out, there's no such thing as deflation. It's prices going down. That's the market. That's the market saying, look, I can't afford your car. I'm not going to buy it. That's it. That's what the deflation is, just prices coming down is really prices coming down. I mean, think about it. If you're inflating the money supply, you're adding supply to the money. And if you're deflating means you're taking away, but you're not taking away. That's why I laugh at this Reichert dude and all these other idiots who say that. They're just, they don't know what they're talking about, and it frustrates me to no end because they don't know what they're saying. So I've learned Austrian economics inside and out. So when I hear somebody bullshitting me, I don't let them get away with it. And as you see how I react to their YouTube pages, but you know, I don't know. I don't know what people listen to on these guys, Rick Rude and Reichert and Maloney and these guys. I would just not listen. When they bring a graph out on price fixed gold, are you really going to listen to it? Like, dude, it's price fixed. You can't chart it. How can you chart price fixed derivative gold? I mean, it's insane. These guys are out there price fixed. They're charting price fixed gold. They don't even understand what price fixing is. They probably don't understand Madoff. I told the guy today, if he would have just went to JP Morgan and had him print dollars, that fucking Ponzi scheme would never have ended because he'd always have money in. To now we're getting Ponzi schemed with the dollars where they don't even give us money. Now they just print the money, but they don't hand it out. So this is absolutely fucking worthless. So in your mind, understand the dollar's worthless. However, you get to still, by law, the stores must take it. This is the point nobody really understands. Legally, you go to Myers or Target. You go to Target. Target is forced legally to take your paper bullshit. They have to. So you go on the shelves and you get $100 worth of goods and you give them this. They don't have a choice. They must take it. Now, if I was running Target, I would then, at the end of the night, run and buy gold with it. And I'd leave enough out to pay the bills, and the rest goes into gold. I mean, that's what I would do at any store. I told my guy today, I said, if I was those guys, I said, if I ran your Toyota dealership, I would sell everything, take the money, buy gold, and go live on an island somewhere and wait for the gold to go up. Why would I keep a company running? I said, have you sold any cars? He says, we can't sell any. It's $35,000 now for a Camry. Interest rates 8%, 9%. It's $1,000 a month. Who the fuck can afford to buy a Camry at $1,000 a month? So they just sit there. He says, yeah, we sell a few. He says, people still need cars to get back and forth to work and everything. And people who lease shouldn't be leasing. They should be buying. I've never leased in my life because I thought it was stupid. Because you'll never get rid of a car payment. This way, I buy the car, I own it. I haven't had a car payment in 2 years now. And my car's got 65,000 miles. And I'm not planning on getting rid of it. So that's the key, is the people that leased are fucked. Now they're going to pay more. It's like the banks, right? The banks are in all these T-bonds at 1%, 0%, and now they have to renew at 5%. And the value of the bond goes down if the interest rate goes up. It's inversely related. So when the interest is zero, the bond's $100. When the interest is 5%, the bond's worth $60. They get their ass kicked because they paid $100 for the bond, and now they're only going to get $60 for it on a 5% bond. They're fucked. So here goes more banks going out. And that's why I say, don't leave your fucking money in the bank. You got cash. I'm Luke. Get the fuck out of the 401k if you can, because you'll never get it out. I don't know who you're with. I would give them a call. What happens when the market crashes? How am I going to get my stocks out? And they'll not give you an answer because you're fucked. You're not going to get it out. I haven't bought a stock in about 3 years now. I've been out of stock, and I have no intention of buying. I don't want to buy the stock and fucking around with the miners, Luke. I want to be in gold and silver because I can put it in my safe, have it in my hands. Nobody can attack on Wall Street me saying it's worthless now, Howard. Nobody can do that because I know it's impossible. the demand for gold and silver with all these central banks who realize they're all going to get fucked because all their paper money is worthless. And they know it. That's the beauty of gold. So you're in Argentina, you know your money is worthless, and you have US dollars. And the problem is, okay, we don't want US dollars. There's no substitute right now. So I'll put it as simple as I can. You've got apples and you've got oranges, and you want to get rid of your oranges, but there's no other fruit you can get, which is the US dollar, right? You don't want the US dollar because of the sanctions and the inflation, but there's no other fruit you can have. You're in Argentina, right? You got the Argentina apples and the US oranges, and you can't get rid of the oranges. So you have to keep taking the oranges. That's where gold comes in. Now, gold gives you the alternative to get rid of the orange and eat bananas now, because that's what the gold is. So now I can't get out of the dollar because there's nothing else to get into. Turns into the BRICS currency, that's gold, and we're in BRICS now. I can get out of the dollar and get into gold. And you got 40 countries doing that, soon to be 80 countries, including us, going, we don't want to be in the dollar either, even though we're in the US. And that's as soon as that happens, it's all over, because nobody will want to be in the dollar. Everybody will run to BRICS gold. That's why everybody wants to join BRICS, because they don't want it's like being in a bad marriage where the spouse tells you what to do and you're like fed up with it, but you can't do anything about it. Now here comes this other girl. Now you can get out of the marriage and into the other girl, and that's what you are looking for, and that's what you need the gold for. The gold's the freedom to get you out of your dollar. That's bullshit that you have to take US dollars. How this ever came to everybody needing the US dollar is beyond me. But that's what corruption does, and that's what a strong military does. It corrupts, and it's absolutely corrupted everybody. And they're all forced to be in the US dollar, and they all hate it. So right now, there's about 80 countries that don't want anything to do with it, but they can't get out of it because there's no alternative. And here comes gold. And now our alternative is we go buy gold and silver. So don't worry about your silver stocks, and certainly don't worry about your Bitcoin. But that's the reason. I don't know if it'll be a global gold standing, but it'll be a global gold currency. And gold will be 20,000 an ounce, and they'll have all these different denominations in the dollar. So this will be a $5 gold piece, not necessarily a euro. And so you'll just take some money and buy the gold and put it in your safe. You don't want to put it in the bank, and that's what you're going to do. And you're going to sleep very well at night, and you'll be able to eat, and everything will be rosy. You want your house? You'll be able to afford it very easily. But keep in mind, anything priced in dollars goes to zero. Your house, your car, your stocks, your bonds, your Bitcoin. It's priced in dollars. Now, does Bitcoin get priced in gold? This will be very interesting what the Bitcoiners who hate gold will say. Because it's not gold. They think it is gold. It's not gold. It's not money. It's not money because everybody doesn't accept it, right? You can't spend it, and you don't even know what the value is of it. It's at 43,000. Why? Because the Russians bought it, or the Chinese. I mean, who's laundering their money to buy it? But who cares what the price is? I don't care that it's 43,000. Doesn't bother me. All I'm focused on is gold. And I know gold's headed to 43,000 and above, and it'll be priced in it. So what does Bitcoin get priced when the dollar goes out? That's your big problem. That's really what the question that needs to be asked is. It ain't going to be priced in Bitcoin because nobody wants it. And where are you going to spend it at? And what's the true value? But it'll be gold. Everything else gets priced in gold, including my Canadian Club 12-year. So Bobby's house goes to zero, and then it's how many ounces of gold to buy Bobby's house. That's what will happen. So there's two steps. Your house going to zero, your house being priced in gold. That's going to be a nightmare, but that's what's happening. I don't even know how you're going to go to the grocery store and buy milk and eggs. What's the price? Well, it's going to be a silver dime. I mean, that's probably what it'll be. They'll price it in silver nickels, dimes, and quarters, and silver halves because everybody's so scared. How do I use my ounce of silver to buy groceries? Well, fuck, there ain't going to be money. There'll be a bunch of silver. That's what you're going to get in change. You give them a 1 ounce silver, and you're going to get a half ounce and a quarter ounce back. That's your change. It's not that difficult. But people run to barter. People are saying, "Oh, I can't." The guy at the airport, "Oh, I got to get out of the. I got to get. I'm at the airport, Luke, and leaving Detroit for Frankfurt." And there's a couple, and I say something about gold, or it came up, and the guy says, "Nobody's chasing me out of my house." I says, "Who's chasing you out of your house? What does that got to do with gold? Do you have any gold?" No. And when I stop laughing, I'm like, "Okay. Good luck to you." And he's like, "Well, everybody who owns a house, we're not going to just leave our houses." And I'm saying, how are you going to buy food? How are you going to pay your bills? I mean, this won't be available. This is zero. This is gone. Now, how the fuck are you going to buy food and pay your bills? Yeah, you're in a house that's worthless until it's priced in gold. And then maybe you sell for the gold, and that's how you're going to get gold. I think that's what I'll save a lot of people, their houses and cars. They'll be able to sell them for gold. And then that's how they get a little bit of gold. Then they'll have to rebuy their houses, but the houses will be much cheaper. They'll be priced in gold, not dollars. And the beauty of gold is it checkmates the government because the government can't print it. And so gold can never lose its value. And it's going to fuck the government up because they're all Keynesians, and they're going to be scratching their head. How do we do a gold standard? How do we steal in a gold standard? How do we Madoff? Luke, it's all going to blow up soon, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about it. No. Okay, that. Funny, when I met you in Barcelona, overhearing you convey about gold, loved it. I was extremely hungover. Well, so you were fine. I'm fine, Luke. I'm here to teach, and I don't charge. I'm here to teach. That's what does it for me, is helping you. But yeah, I was just leaving a message with the buddy about the gold. He's a gold guy I met in Alabama, and it was 7 a.m, and I was exhausted, and I didn't know anybody, so I was just talking to him. I had met Jenna, and she left early. And so I was just there by my last few days. I was just there by myself, going to the Picasso Museum and going to the beach. I was like, fine. And so anyway, but that's why I sometimes don't mind talking at a normal level. And I really don't care if people hear when I'm talking about gold or economics. It's not a personal matter, but yeah, I mean, that's your buddy seemed interested in it, but I don't think he ever followed up on it. I don't know. I love when you ask me, well, does it go 10%? Like, I said, it goes to zero. You said, how about 10%? I go, no, the dollar goes out. It doesn't, it falls to zero. It doesn't like go to 10 and stop. It goes all the way to the ground. But nobody learns it. Even the guy at Toyota I was pissed at, I told him to get out of Bitcoin and buy gold, and he didn't do it. And his wife thought he was crazy until his buddy who runs his company does it. Oh, well, if your buddy who runs a company, we trust him. Oh, if he's doing it, then we'll do it. And I'm like, so this is the problem I see. So if you don't know somebody and you're not comfortable with them, you don't believe anything he says, or you don't trust them, so you got to earn trust. How do you go to school? Do you really trust your teachers? Right? I mean, so you take an Austrian economics class at University of Michigan or at Penn State or, Alabama or at Tampa. So you're saying you don't learn anything because you don't trust the teacher? Well, I'm not comfortable with the teacher, so I really if he tells me something, I'm really not going to believe it. But yet you believe the teachers in college. So I get confused. Like it kind of is offensive to me when he said that. I was kind of like, so when he tells you you bought it, but when I told you 6 months earlier, you didn't believe me? Then I asked him, how much gold do you have? He says, no, I just got silver. And then I kind of burned him. I said, oh, I got a lot of gold because if I go to Switzerland, I only got to put 10 ounces in my pocket and nobody really knows I have any. And it's worth a lot of money, where your silver, you're going to what, stack it on the plane? I mean, and it'll be worth a lot less. Like if you took 10 ounces of silver and I got 10 ounces of gold, you don't have nothing compared to me. But I was really trying to dig a nail into him because he was kind of offending me on that. So I thought he was out of line. I told you to do it and you didn't listen. And then some guy who runs a company does it and everybody listens to him. I'm like, okay, there's a problem here. What the fuck's going on here? So today he was a lot more receptive, but I still was a little bit bent out of shape by that. Didn't I tell you to do it? So I don't know what I'm doing. Where are we at there, buddy? Anyway, that's how stupid people are. They don't know. I think the problem is they don't know who to trust and who to listen to. So they either don't trust anybody or don't listen to anybody. They can't tell that I know what I'm talking about, so they won't trust me. But if their friend says it, then they believe him because they know I said it also. So now somebody else is saying it. So let's take Bobby. He goes to his family and says, buy gold and silver. They look at him like he's out of his mind. Now, Bobby should be insulted. Do you not trust me? Look, I bought it, but they don't trust him. However, if the family were to go and talk to a neighbor who they are friends with, and the neighbor says, oh, yeah, I'm buying gold and silver, all of a sudden they'll start buying gold and silver, Bobby, even though you've told them, and they're insulting you because they don't trust your word. But a friend or somebody they're more comfortable who they trust is in it. Then they'll start listening, but they won't listen to you. And I find that to be extremely insulting. And that's exactly what's going to happen when other people start having gold and silver, and then your family and other people or Luke, whoever you're trying to tell to buy gold and silver, and they don't, because they don't believe you. But then when Joe Bob over there runs a grocery store buys it, they go, oh, Joe Bob buys it. Oh, yeah, I should buy it. Well, Luke told you to buy it. But why would I listen to my relatives or friends? That's a hard one. As stoic as I can get to let it go and rub me the right way. I don't know. Okay, Luke. Yeah, I wonder how the hell I'm going to sell these silver boxes one day. Kino. Hi, Kino. I'm fine. Do I know you? Welcome. You'll have no problem, Luke. What you'll do is you're not going to sell the whole box. So you're going to take 10 out, 20 out. It'll be $2,000 an ounce. So you'll take 10 ounces to your coin store or jewelry store. Somebody will be buying it. And the more it goes up, there'll be more people opening up stores to buy the gold because they're going to steal a little. They're going to give you 99% or whatever. And or they're going to give you spot and sell it 100 over spot. That's how they're making their money. They're too stupid to buy it and just hold it until the price goes up, or to use or to create a physical price and use that, the $20,000 gold price. They don't want to use that because the other stores are going to sell it at $2,000. They can't sell it. Well, guess what? You don't want to sell it at $2,000. So you're just going to sell 10, 20 at a time. That's all you're going to need to sell. They'll be worth so much that, they might be 5,000 an ounce. So you take out 5 of them, you got 25,000. How much do you need? So it's a lot of it is storage. You're going to want to take 10 or 15 ounces and get gold with it. All right, Bobby, you're going to have this because you don't have much gold. You're going to take 10 ounces of silver and go to the store and get 1 ounce of gold. you're going to want some gold just for carrying costs. When we go to Switzerland, you're going to want 5, 6, 10 ounces of gold to take, not a whole shitload of silver, which, so if 10 ounces of silver is 1 gold, I can take 10 ounces of gold. You got to take 100 ounces of silver. What the fuck you want to do that? You just want a few ounces and we'll have lunch with Egon, but that's kind of what you want. But it's coming very quickly. What are we in, December 14th, we got 17 days. Then Putin takes over BRICS. The ruble comes out, gold back, and the ruble and the BRICS comes out, gold back, and the yuan will come out, gold back. All those 3 are going to happen soon. And it's not to wipe the dollar out. It's just to give competition. The problem is it's a monopoly. The dollar's a monopoly. Gold is the competition, but they won't let gold compete, and they won't tell anybody that gold's the competition to the dollar. Because if they did, everybody would own gold. Nobody would own the dollar. Why do you want to own something that's worthless when you could own something that is so undervalued that it's going to go to the moon? What would you choose? I mean, Luke, you want to buy stocks. You want to buy mining stocks because they're undervalued. Well, there you go. So you want to buy the gold for the same reason. You're buying gold and silver for the same reason. The difference is nobody can fuck with you holding the gold. They can fuck with your stocks, or they can, you got to pay tax on it. You got to, it's capital gains. Nobody knows you have the coins. This is the part you're missing. Nobody knows you have the coin. So when you sell one, nobody knows you sold it. There is no tax. There's no, you put your money in the bank, you get 100 grand and you get 3%, and you got to pay tax on the interest. Well, there's no tax on gold. There's no interest. That's the beauty of it. You don't need interest. Let it go from 20,000 to let it go from 2,000 to 5,000. Do I give a fuck about interest? No. The coin goes way up. That's all I care about. And you're off the radar, you're off the tax radar, nothing, and nobody can fuck with you. You just sit there and smile going, what beach do I want to own tomorrow? What island? I'm going to go to the Caribbean and I'm going to buy an island. Bobby, come on, we'll go buy an island in the Caribbean, and that's where we'll go. That's the beauty of it, and it's perfectly legal. It's perfectly money. It's a perfectly asset. It's no difference between me and Mr. Mahomes here. It's the same fucking thing. This is same thing. I don't pay interest on this. There is no interest on this. Do I give a fuck? Let them win another Super Bowl. The value of this jumps by 5. There's no interest. There's no... there's no, I don't care about interest. The interest is he wins another Super Bowl. So that's what I'm looking at. That's why you invest in non-dollar stuff and you're off the radar. Nobody knows you have it, which is what you want. You don't want everybody to know you have anything. That's the stoic way. I keep watching these stoic ones and they're saying to me, don't tell people about these things and keep it quiet and don't, because they say if you tell your friend something, then your enemy will find out because your friend will tell your enemy and then the enemy knows you have something. So I haven't watched all the Stoics, but I did catch that one. So when I was in Germany, I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want people to know I was out of the country and, they can figure out and go, oh, he's out of the country. I'm going to go take all his gold. I didn't want to do that. So that's why I didn't say, except for Greg and John wanted to say I was in Russia. That's why I didn't say it, but I can say it now because I'm home. But yeah, that was kind of like stoic, like nobody needs to know where I'm at as long as I'm on and teaching. That's all that should be mattered. So who the hell is Keno? How the hell are you? I am wonderful, about to be even better. Once the gold goes through the roof. It's funny. We're waiting for the Titanic to sink, basically. We're off the Titanic on the gold ship, and we're all like, me and Luke and Bobby are all going, okay, sink ship, sink. As soon as it sinks, our gold goes up. That's the scary part of it. That's what we're really hoping for, is the Titanic to sink and all the people to then run off and get into and all run to gold and silver. Not to get hurt, but that's what they're going to do. They're all going to run to gold and silver because there's no other place to run. If there was another place, I would say this is as close as you can get to another place, is this. But you still got to sell this. You can't go to the grocery store with this, and you can't pay your bills with this unless you sell it on eBay and get the cash or gold for it. I'm curious what eBay will do. So I put out my 1 ounce of gold, and do I sell it for dollars or do I sell it for gold? Or I got my Montana card. Do I sell it for 120,000 or do I sell it for 2 ounces of gold or 3 ounces of gold? Are they going to have a gold selection? Like, I'll take 5 ounces of gold for it as opposed to the money. That would be really interesting what they're going to do. And then how do you tax me if it's gold versus the dollar? So they like to 1099 you on it. And then what do they charge me for? The dollar or gold? This is all going to be really, really interesting coming down the pike here. Anyway, tonight we go under. We've got San Diego, Oakland. Let's take one more. We got an updated player list. NFL starting lineups. So everybody on San Diego, except for obviously Keenan Allen is out. Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams are still questionable. The line's Vegas 3 and 35.5, up from 34.5. I'm going under with it, 35.5. I got 17-13 San Diego. I don't know. Without Keenan Allen, I'm not sure they can get to 17. Bosa's out. So that's the only thing this site, RotoWire, doesn't show you, like Bosa being out. But where are they going to get the points? You get shitty offenses. You got shitty quarterbacks, shitty offensive coordinators. Where are you going to get the points from? They played a 3-0 game with Minnesota. Enough said. So anyway, that's what we got tonight. Saturday, we got college football. I gave you some of the games. And the free pick is Denver getting 10.5 from the Lions and Alabama getting 7.5 from Michigan. I'm in my anti-Michigan Detroit stage right now. I understand the way they really are. I do not have a home field bias. People ask me, well, do you have a favorite team? And the answer is no, I can't. I have to be independent. I have to be able to tell you to bet on Philadelphia and bet off Philadelphia. Last week I locked Buffalo against Kansas City, and I locked Denver against San Diego. I like San Diego's colors, but they're not my favorite team. Neither is San Francisco. I like them, especially when they're good, but that's the thing. So I have to be neutral, and that's how I win. And then here, look, I'm betting against Detroit when most people in Detroit are betting on them, and I'm betting against Michigan when most people here would be betting on Michigan like last year. They all bet Michigan against TCU, and I swear I shook my head and didn't understand it because I watched TCU, and they had a devastating offense. I said to myself, Michigan was laying 7. I said, I wouldn't take a -1. I think it'll be this is a take the dog game, and I didn't know TCU would kill them, but there was never a thought of taking Michigan -1. There's never a thought of taking Michigan as a 1.5 point favorite. The only choice is Alabama and 7.5. It's the most obvious choice. Maybe you go under in the game because Alabama's defense is very strong. That would be the only other play, and the over-under in the game is 45, so under 51. Probably another good bet because where are you going to get points from in this game? This would be like the Georgia game. What was the Georgia score? Georgia. It was 27-24 Alabama, a 51. But Georgia could run the ball up better than Michigan can. So I was surprised they got 27 on Alabama, really. But anyway, you just got to be able to bet. Look at the teams blindly. This team's Burnett team. This spread's so fucked up, and bet it. And that's this Alabama spread so fucked up. You just bet it. It's like gold, right? It's like silver. Silver's 25 an ounce. It's so fucked up. It's not anywhere near reality of the true physical price of silver. It's the paper price of silver. So you must understand that first, that it's the paper price. It's derivative. It's being inflated paper-wise by the derivatives. It's not being inflated physical. So the $25 is not close to reality. So I'm saying eat as much as you can eat. And the same thing here. This line is nowhere close to reality. Alabama should be 5-6 point favorites to get 1.5. We tease them up to 7.5. It's the same thing as silver. It's as much as you can eat. I've got them in, I think, 3 plays already. I got Alabama and Denver in a play, and I highly recommend that one. That's a beautiful teaser. But it's as much as you can eat, and that's all we can do is just take the best game, the best spreads, the best what makes sense. You go with it, and that's exactly what we do. That's why I'm successful. So anyway, that's the bottom line, Stone Cold Bobby. All right, anything else before I eat my dinner? Since I went to the car place, I haven't gone to the pool, so I think I'm going to do that at 7:30. It's open till 9:30, so I'll at least do a little bit of running in the pool and hot tubbing. It's funny, I was a little bloated before the trip because they closed the pool Saturday, Sunday for meat, and I noticed my stomach was getting a little bit uncomfortable for me, and now I'm running in the pool and I'm home, and now it's like I'm back to nice and fit. So anyway, then I can feel better. All right, I'm going to let you go. www.teaserking.com. Again, $100 for all the bowls, $200 for all the bowls and all the pros. So you get tonight's game through the Super Bowl, all the locks, and all the bowl games for $200. So it's the steal of the century, and then you can buy a bunch of gold and silver with all the money that you make on these picks. I have 6 locks going already. Well, I have 3 locks with, I think, 5 teams so far. So I got a pro lock, a pro college lock, a college lock, and I might have one other pro college lock or college lock. The more I'm seeing and the more I'm looking at these quarterbacks going out, the more I'm like, no, I'm going to lock that game. And like Hartman's out. Oh, fuck, I love Notre Dame under now. It's simple like that. North Carolina's quarterback out. Well, we're going to bet on West Virginia, which would have been a tough bet before. Now it's an easy bet. So that's what we're going to take advantage of. Anyway, have a tremendous night. I will see you tomorrow at I'll see you tomorrow at probably about 2. What's tomorrow? It's Friday. Yeah, I'll probably try to go, unless I do my breaks, then I will do what I did today. I'll do my breaks early, but he hasn't even contacted me back. So he's kind of busy and it's his own little shop. So we'll see. But hopefully I can get in for breaks in the next week and schedule something. Otherwise, I'll have to figure out another way to get my breaks done a little more expensively and not as good a quality. All right, everybody, www.teaserking.com. Good luck tonight. Go under San Diego, Oakland, 35, go under 42. I don't see how they get close to either team scoring in the 20s. And they just Oakland might just shut them out. I mean, look at these quarterbacks. Stick. How is Stick your best choice? Oh, my God. And O'Connell. All right, everybody, www.teaserking.com. Buy your gold, buy your silver coins. You can't inflate them. Nobody knows you have them. The stocks, yes, I agree they're pretty, but again, they're still priced in dollars. When the dollar goes out, and that's what nobody wants to talk about, the dollar going to zero. Nobody brings that up. They just assume everything's normal and you'll keep having the dollar. Who's paying the $35 trillion debt? Yeah, nobody. Okay. All right. Have a nice night. Teaserking.com. We will see you tomorrow.